Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Flea and I are back as we continue our look into horror anime with Hell Girl, created by Hiroshi Watanabe. When someone wants revenge, they post about it on a special website at midnight. Then Hell Girl appears to do their bidding. And it really is as simple as that.
Do you know what? I could do that website, to be quite honest. I can think of a
Uh,
few people.
They
I can think of
never
a few
mention
people.
this whether you can have multiple goes. I think it's a one-time trick because, oh my god, I'd be on it every night.
Well, so it's not like it's not like collecting stamps, and that if you've collected 10 stamps, you get a free one.
Yeah, because you're
It's like
kind of like you're already committed. You're going to hell.
it's
So.
the mark of the covenant. The first thing that went through my head when I saw it is like stamps. Collect 10,
Shit,
get
I
a
forgot
free,
to.
get a free one.
I meant to type out the whole litany because I really like that. I actually want a Hellgirl poster with that litany on it.
Oh, the bit where she it's like
Oh, damn soul wandering in the
the
abyss.
little poem.
Continue to forget it. But you've just want to give death a try. I like that litany, but I'm a scatterbrain and I forgot to get a copy down.
But it just gives you a chance. It just gives you a chance to watch it again.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, by the way, folks, this is just the first Cour. We're doing there's 24 episodes in this, so we're doing the first 12 because 23 minutes each. There's still a couple of hours worth of viewing here.
Yeah.
And
Also,
the temptation was to carry on, but managed to restrain myself.
It's I'm going to say I struggled a bit with some of the early ones, but by the time we got to episode 12, yes, yeah. But does the name Hiroshi Watanabe ring any bells?
It does, actually.
Elfin Lied.
There you go. I was mixing them up with Tanabe, who did At the Mountains of Madness. But yeah, Elfin Lied, yeah, that makes 100% sense. You can actually see the animation too. The animation style. What look? Oh, I got a new hoodie. Right. Is that it? That's all I need to completely change so nobody recognizes me anymore. I was going to get another one and then realized it was exactly the same color as my other two. And I thought, I'm going to go mad and get something different. I have like loads of clothes and they're all the same shade. I'm not bad.
I'm glad I don't have a cam because actually I've got to be honest, we would clash so badly. So I'm wearing like a black pullover with a grey jacket on top.
I just realized when I'm picking I've about 10 grey shirts of a particular shade. Like I just have my comfort zone of
such a good grace
of particular color. I like solid colors. I don't like logos.
The nice thing about grey and black is you can wear them more than once.
Thing is, I used to be quite colorful. See, in my younger days when I went to heavy metal bars, I used to wear all the bright colors.
Pink.
Yeah, honestly, I had pink combat bottoms. You know where you could get all the mad colors with combat bottoms?
Yeah.
That was my thing. And then rather than just wearing the traditional black t-shirts, I would find the tie-dye ones and all that were stood out a bit. Because that was me.
Yeah.
Now I've gone the other way. I'm just like, I like solid, simple colors. What a tangent. Not even begun yet.
I know, right?
But yeah, this is an episodic series. So there's no overarching storyline.
Yet.
It feels like something you would get on a Saturday, like an episode of Airwolf for the A-Team or something.
Yeah.
It feels a bit like that, but anime.
Yeah, it's like you kind of get the same beginning, you get the same kind of end, but it's the bit in the middle that changes every episode.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't mind. Like
I struggled with it a bit because it was kind of like by the end of because it's like it follows the same kind of exactly the same episodic stance every episode. By the time we got to the end of episode 4, I was really struggling with this.
I think I can see where it's coming from. It's meant to be you watch once a week. It's not designed for the binging model when it came out.
Mm.
The problem is, like, this came out, we were talking before it went live, was 2005.
Yep, 2005, 2006.
He was still a thing. But that was during, home DVD was starting to become a thing of
Mm.
box sets of TV series. And that's where it basically was coming into fruition, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So the mode of watching was changed. This is almost like old school TV versus modern TV. There was no real thing as a season. TV series went on a run,
Yeah.
but the idea of a season was overarching storyline, beginning to end. It was told through X number of episodes. So this is a product of its time. So I can give it a bit of forgiveness for
Mm. I think it's because I decided to. So it was fresh in my mind. I decided to binge the entire thing yesterday. So it's like watching 12 episodes of this. It's by the time I got to the end of episode 12, I was ready for a break. A huge bar of chocolate and something fizzy. It's like
I only did a few episodes at a time because I wanted to. I wanted to actually try and take some of it in and have a break now and again because I find that I get I gloss over things when I do it all at once.
I wrote a few notes, but not for every episode.
Yeah, that's the sad things I do. But yeah, we've got main characters we've got Ayanma, she's Hell Girl. We've got Wyanudu, who basically he does everything.
He could seriously, I've got to be honest, he could seriously be my favorite character in this.
I really like him. I do. Especially like, later episodes when you realize
the amount of times he gets the short end of the stick.
Yep. And you've got Hone and Ichimoku, who are the posers.
I'm which one is which?
Hone's the sort of glamorous lady, and Ichimoku's the sort of smart arse.
I don't remember the names being mentioned.
I had to go digging. Wyanudu is the only name actually mentioned during the series. I had to go digging, get the shovel out.
Because I watched the opening credits and the ending credits once, thought what a great ending credit, and then just skipped them for the rest of it.
Yeah, I tugged on. This one isn't the ending credits aren't important. They're just a preview for the next episode, so that's okay. You can skip them in this. But yeah, I had to go look at characters up because and Grandma is just Grandma.
Grandma.
She's the calming voice in the background. I don't know if she makes the dolls on her spindle, if that's her job.
I don't know. I honestly, she's there just to like remind A that she's got mail because A is totally not interested. She just wants to sit in the river.
I have a funny feeling it's a parable. This is a parable. It's almost like a religious parable. We're being served here, which makes sense. We're dealing with heaven and hell, so it would have to be.
It's Shintoism. The big Torii Gateway gives that away.
Yeah, which I don't know too much about. I know it's not quite Buddhism. It's a different denomination, but when you guessed and know exactly what it's about. But it's all about leaving the offerings at the shrines. And
I've got to be. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure which way it's going. But it's like I think it's Shintoism because they talk about Jikogu, and it's like I'm pretty sure the hell in the Buddhist side is Yomi. Yomi. Might be wrong on that.
But once again, that's cool. Using folklore, using stories. So these all might be based on religious icons.
The river, by the way, is called the Yellow Spring.
What were Ayanma
where the big gateway is, where she consigns them to hell.
Oh, it's basically the Japanese version of the river Styx.
More or less, it's a Chinese version of the river Styx.
Cool.
Religion knows no boundaries.
Well, that's what happens here. Don't forget, China and Japan like next door to each other and have been involved in each other's business
Oh yeah, the
for
what
various reasons. So,
um, Japan can trace its roots all the way back to China. It's like the first air quotes Japanese were Chinese settlers.
mhm.
Actually, the first Japanese were the Ainu, but there were already people living in the Japanese Isles when the Chinese arrived, but they just wiped them out.
Yeah. Also, if you look at martial arts, like even the origins of karate is a derivative of kung fu. Difference, you know, what I mean, it's the two. So you can see it's like us, the British Isles. Like we have loads of different indigenous cultures, and we all share commonality and sharing of various folklores, etc. You know, what I mean, it all sort of blends in. But yeah, I like the fact that it's grounded in something, and we're not. I don't like exposition, as you know. If you want to delve further into it, the meaning behind it, or the religious iconography, go do it. You're left that choice, but they're just telling the stories, and they're taking sort of old parables and folk tales and bringing it into the modern setting. Modern for back then, which is funny
like say,
because the technology's ancient by today's standards.
Those computers, Jesus.
Oh, I had those. I started out. Well, I started out with a Spectrum 48K. That was my first ever computer. The Specky Rubber Key.
Still one of the greatest PCs ever. Still one of the greatest personal computers ever made.
Oh dear. You know when you got the thing stuck or the thing lifted up after a while. But yeah, I had my first proper PC was Windows 95. I mean, you got a 17-inch monitor, you got a 17-inch monitor every which way. And I think it partly went into the fourth dimension too, because it had to fit on the, because you needed a reinforced desk for your monitor.
Yep, I remember a massive, great beige box that weighed a ton. CRT monitor, which weighed twice as much as the PC.
Fun days.
If it was one of the really, really early ones, external disk drive. But that brick, it's nice to know. It's nice to know that when you finally do get to hell, at least they have internet.
I don't know if that'd be a good or a bad thing. Like, imagine, like for me, my idea of hell would be on social media every day, actually participating in chat forums.
I was going to quip this later, but I'll quip it now. It's like in these days. I mean, I'm guessing that like poor I must be out of a job now, because it's like there's no such thing as hell. We've just got social media.
A hell has come to Earth.
Hell has come to Earth, and and lo, its name.
Somebody solved the Levant configuration, and here we are.
It's like existential horror. Facebook.
I hate Facebook. I hate it with a passion. You'd probably notice I don't do this channel probably do 100 times better if there was engagement in social media, like actually answering people's comments and stuff. But I just can't get into all that.
I can't be bothered with social media. There's just too many angry people over there, and they're angry over the silliest things.
Yeah, they're angry over nothing. Like when people are legit fighting each other over which way the toilet paper goes, that's a fight. You know, you're like, you're bored. You need something actually constructive to worry about.
So which way does the toilet paper go? The answer is simple: wipe up, wipe down. Boom. That's it. The job's done. It's like, but yeah, does it go behind? Does it go in front? Who cares?
Well, I solved the problem because my toilet roll holder goes like that, so it plonks. So I'm not even part of that argument.
the bit in the middle of our toilet roll holder broke, so it basically just sits on top of the chest of drawers that's in front of the toilet.
There you go. Job done.
Job's done. Boom.
Rebel. No, but that, do you know what I mean? That's social media. That is hell. And I could never picture meeting those people in real life. Like a regular forum person, I couldn't. Because they obviously can't tie their own shoelaces.
Do you know that picture I put in Discord of the website, the Hellgate website?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, until a couple of years ago, that was actually an actual website. It was an actual working thing that you could put people's names into.
That was a thing back in the past. Like, this is all built as well. They're using like around about the mid-2000s. I'd say that was the last example of folklore were urban legends.
And so
That
that's
was
it. The entire thing about Hellgirl is an urban legend. It's an
yeah.
urban myth.
But that's as a society we need. We need creativity. That's creativity at the base level. Folklore, folk tales. And the last example were the urban legends. That was people creating things, making up stories, using the modern landscape. And that we're still vibrant as a society. Once that went, nothing came afterwards. And that's
Nowadays
why we're down on our arse as a society, because we do not create anymore.
nowadays we got cryptids and SLGs or whatever they. I can't remember.
But cryptids have been around.
But there is. It's like there's
Funny enough, you'll be hearing about cryptids in Horrific Tales Volume 2 coming out soon.
dun, dun, dun.
Plug.
SGCs. That's it. But what I was watching a video earlier today about the haunted tunnels of Japan. You know, the road tunnels where it's like, oh, there's the ghost of an old lady in this tunnel, and if you go through it such and such a time on such and such a day, she'll curse you, and that kind of thing. Or this old abandoned hospital. Because it's kind of like it's the haunted tunnels and urban legends is still very much alive in Japan, because it's like the population of Japan is shrinking very, very quickly. And there are all kinds of like abandoned buildings. There's even abandoned villages, abandoned towns, just like the ghost towns all over the place.
But when you think about the property, like Tokyo, the property prices, you get a mortgage that your grandkids pay off. That's why it's the same here. There's no incentive to have a family if you can't afford a freaking house.
There are places in Japan where you can buy a plot of land with a house already built on it, and you only pay for the land. Which is it's kind of like it's multi-million yen, but if you look how many yen there are to the dollar, it's not that expensive. If I had the money.
Yeah, but like Tokyo and places, that's why people live in boxes. You know.
Yeah.
It's the same problem here in the UK. You know, I mean, we're very similar to Japan. The fact that we're an island nation, small plot of land, like geographical size with a large population. So it comes with its own challenges. And that's why you end up having it dwindling, because you're like, what is the point? If you can't, we all need a bit of comfort. We're beyond this whole living on top of each other, in each other's faces with no space is destructive. You know, there's already having the comfort of other people and being a social animal, but at the same time, you still need your own space.
This is true. This is very true.
And that's why there's so many problems, is because we have less and less space. That's why people are agitated, angsty, angry, just as everyone's on a hair trigger, just waiting for the wrong incident, because it's stressful. And I think that's why we've dwindling populations, both here in the UK and Japan, because it's like, if you can't do the basics of get a home, and I don't just mean a box and functionality, I mean an actual home that you can call yours and build your little unit, your family, and live your life, then where's the incentive? You know, and then unfortunately it has to go through a cycle, so it has to go through the empty buildings waste, because until the model changes or it goes through the common sense comes in, it's not going to change. And then the problem is it always goes too much the other way, because for some reason humans, we are extremist creatures.
God, that's very true.
But we always have to take it too far. It always, this is the right road we're traveling on, so there's no, we'll only travel up there a bit. No, we just keep going here to hit another bump. That is the human psyche. And that's never going to change. And it's only through crisis that we'll pull back. We'll have to hit crisis point to change direction, and then keep going in another direction to hit crisis point there, and then back. There's never any balance. Which is funny, because this whole series is about balance at the end of the day. It's about somebody does you harm that you feel so aggrieved that you want to curse them, immediate removal, Like it's not even karma or anything else, just immediate removal to hell. But in doing so, you damn yourself. That's the scales being balanced.
I just like that so much. It's that, yeah, yes, you can totally send this person you hate to hell, but if you do, you're also damning yourself.
Yeah, and that's an interesting premise. One thing they don't do is they don't navel gaze about this. They make it very black and white.
Mm.
That'll
But
be my only complaint about this. It's very the nuance is sort of removed from it.
some of the things that people get sent to hell for seem really trivial to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, did they really deserve that? But it's like, I suppose the punishment flows two ways because of the balancing of karma.
Well, sure, the first one, The Other Side of Twilight, this is where Mayumi, she's being bullied and basically being extorted money and set up. She was looking after a charity.
There's nothing. I've got to be honest. There's nothing wrong with the bully that a chuffing good punch wouldn't sort out.
No, that's that usually solves it. But girls do it differently from boys. If I was a bunch of blokes, that's all it would take. But women are different.
Never step into a fist fight between two women.
I learned that in the door.
It's not worth it, especially when they've got talons.
Yeah, no, that was one of the scars. When I was doing the dorm, like early 20s, that was one of the first lessons. If there's two women going at it, don't you get involved, because
two blokes get in between there. If it's two women, it's far too dangerous.
I was God, I keep telling it was this nightclub I was doing, and there was 11 of us. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
When you need 11 doormen in a nightclub, you know it's a rough place. So we always had 4 on the front door, and then everyone else roved around. They sort of took turns. So kicked out a bunch of people, and then they all came back in force and just wailed into the 4 on the door and actually got them on the ground. And then we all got over the radios, to run out. And I'm talking about running battle, like just you threw a punch and you hit someone. It was that bad. It just turned into an absolute carnage fest. But one of the guys was telling me the only thing he remembers is this spiky purple high heel trying to stamp his eyes out. Like she was legitimately trying to stamp on his eye to put it out.
Jesus. Unrelated, but I remember watching some really, really bad Chinese martial arts film. And this guy
there is no such thing.
One of the bad guys attacked this woman, and she hit him in the side of the head with her shoe. And this guy spent the entire rest of the film with this like red stiletto hanging off the side of his face. What was the name of that film? Damn it! What was the name of that film?
God, that's like there's loads like that. If I was to start a second channel, it would be on Hong Kong cinema. That would be, but favorite. I would never leave the house. I would never. My eyes would be square because I would never be finished watching stuff. Like there's so much there to cover.
Hang on, I'm already suffering from that.
It's bad enough for horror films. Like I refuse to log on to Tubi because I just see a watch list waiting to like torture me. Like movies I'll never catch up with because there's only so many hours in a day.
Because we've got the second part of this, it means like we won't be spinning the wheel tonight.
No. But I like the wheel. The wheel just saves so much trouble.
Oh God, because it's kind of like, what are we going to watch next? Spin the wheel.
Yeah, done. That's what we're doing.
So yeah, yes.
But poor Mayumi, like this was a good intro. Like we get the sort of scene, and yeah, it was.
I mean, she
was collecting money for a charity. The bully girls twigged on. They stole it out of her bag. Oldest trick in the book.
And then they lend the money back to her, so she doesn't get in trouble for losing it. And then she owes them.
And it never ends. You never pay that debt back. It's like loan sharks, etc. You never pay the debt back. It's about ownership, power.
Yeah, they just get her into worse and worse trouble. So it's
But
understandable when she hears the legend of a hell link, and you can log into this certain website at midnight. She goes looking for it.
it's convenient. Like they do this for like the first 3 or 4 episodes. There's always somebody walking past at the right moment talking about it.
Like one of the other anime you have on the list, Boogie Pop Phantom, is a lot like that.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of Boogie Pop.
Yeah, that's. I suppose it serves a purpose for the narrative. Then, thankfully, it doesn't get as repetitive. Like I think we get about 5, 6 episodes in, it stops. It changes things up a little. It's still the same format, but we're not getting the same girls just
Yeah,
having to be walking past talking
it
about
kind
the particular
it
website.
stops being something you hear strangers walking past talk about, and it actually has become enough of a myth, enough of an urban legend of itself that people have heard of it already.
Yeah, it's just part of the zeitgeist, and that's fair enough. So I like the way it progresses. That yes, there's a bit of repetitiveness throughout the series because it's episodal at its heart, but they do change things up a bit, and they do manage to keep it interesting because, like you're saying, if this was 24 episodes of the exact same thing over
Yeah.
and over again, it would get very
I
tired.
think if I'd only watched it a couple of episodes at a time, or when I'd watched it when it was live, one episode per week, I wouldn't have been sitting there at the end of episode 4 going like, "Oh God, not this again! Oh no, not this again!"
No, that's the thing. You know what I mean? If you're watching it week to week, you wouldn't. Just be it's like a Tales from the Unexpected or Tales from the Crypt episode.
Yeah,
That's sort of that's where I categorize this, that sort of vein, and that's fine. I like different things. You know, I don't need to watch everything's because we'll see what happens with TV anyway, and with series led stuff is they write themselves into a corner. So it'll go 1 or 2 seasons and then they're done, and then it just falls off a cliff because they keep beating a dead
yeah.
horse. There were some of my favorite series, The Incredible Hulk, for example. That was episodal. Knight Rider,
Yeah,
because that's the only
yeah.
one that still holds up out of all that. Because the A Team, you watch that again, it's awful. Airwolf is shocking. It's fucking terrible. But things like that were just episodal, you know, Saturday afternoon
it's
sort of.
it just felt that a lot of it just felt that episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, it just felt like a lot of the episode was just like copy paste from the previous one, and there was only a small bit in the middle which was like the original part of the story, because it's kind of like
What's the age rating in this? Is 15 or something, isn't it?
I don't know actually.
Like this is not a full adult. That's something we should be mindful of as well. Because sure, look at if we want to go into animated or like Saturday morning cartoons, Masters of the Universe was copy and paste.
Yeah, it was. But then again, like you say, it was like 1 episode per week, so it wasn't as noticeable. Let me have a look.
If you ever see on YouTube every so often it appears that they do like an entire season, like they stream it live. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
And you go on, you watch 3-4 episodes in a row, and it is really obvious. Like even the animation is copy and paste.
Yeah.
Did I give it a rating?
Whoa, what is this?
Nope.
Just watch. Rating 7.K. Fantasy, horror, animation, drama, science fiction, kids and family. Classic Japanese anime. I'm guessing if it came out today, it would be rated. Hang on, age rating TV 14.
So it's teenager, young adult.
So in this country, it would probably be a 12A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not an 18 plus, so we're not going to get like. Oh, hold on. The later ones now. Oh, that's strange.
Mm-hmm.
On the source side, it's saying 18 plus.
What, for some of the later ones?
I was saying it for Helgar as well, 18 plus. That's strange.
It's probably because of the gore. The fact that it's got demons in it.
No. Mumra was scarier. He only ever appeared at the end of each episode, but he was just waiting for the transformation. It was like, come on. That's one to jump back into. But
the cats, yes.
But yeah, we get it basically. Naomi is bullied. She puts a request in, and then Aya, who's the lead bully, gets confronted with her sin. I think I like throughout this as well that sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. But the person that makes a request when Ayanma appears gives her a little taste of hell.
Yes, they do.
So it's almost like a dream. They're brought to the dreamland, and she's explained about the covenant, and then just before they wake up, they're given a taste of hell, what it would be like. Basically, to go, right, you do this. This is your eternity. Basically, you've been warned on your own head, be it, sort of thing, so to speak.
Yeah, it bugged me, the fact that it's kind of like you want to send this person to hell. Yes, right. Here, take this black straw doll with this red string tied around it. If you decide you want to send them to hell, untie the red string. But just be aware that if you do, you will also be going to hell. You'll never get to heaven. And they go off to have a think about it, and then the person who's bullying them comes up and says, "Yeah, oh yeah, not only is your mum fat, but she smells as well." Right, that's it. Unties the string.
Yeah, like, there's always. I get it though, because it's an episodal thing. I get that. It's not like we're having 2-3 episodes of the same character deliberating over this.
It just seemed.
I don't know if I would add or take away.
It just seemed very rushed, and to me, I don't know if I'm a terrible person with like no soul or anything, but it just seems like some of the things that they were like sending people to hell for were so minute.
Trivial. Well, there was a lot of trivial stuff.
It was either trivial or their fault.
Yeah, we get it, but
in the case of the last episode,
yeah, I couldn't feel sympathy because the son of a corrupt politician gets caught and loses everything and blames the reporter that
blames the guy. Doesn't blame the reporter, blames the editor-in-chief of the newspaper. And I'm like, this guy just reported what was going on. It's like, is it his fault or is it his father's fault?
But is that not part of the story as well? This is where it gets a little bit more nuanced, but
it's kind of like it's not just about urban myth and legend, and it's also I also think that a large part of it is about the human condition.
Yep. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory. Someone's that bent on winning that they don't care if they lose in the long run. That's the stand of it. And some people do go to that. What we haven't had in the first 12, and this is where we need in the second 12 episodes, is somebody not pulling the string. And then seeing how it plays out. If that makes sense. Because anime sometimes will answer and sometimes won't. And the grievance has to be genuine. Because we see it's the Tall Tower, isn't it? The girl from the Tall Tower.
Yes.
She's making the requests on someone's behalf because she effectively, the other one wants to meet Hellgirl. So the requests aren't genuine, so they're not being answered.
Oh, it's more than that. She's trying to use Hellgirl to like assassinate people who are in her way.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's not sincere, Hellgirl is having nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It has to be a sincerity. Now, here's the question. Is it just because these are meant for a younger audience that they can't really go... Like, you can't go Elf and Lied level in this. Like, it's really not that graphic.
It still has its moments.
Yeah, it has a moment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not padding in this. I enjoyed it as a whole. like yourself, it took me a couple of episodes to get into the groove of it, and it definitely changes. Episode is it 7? We meet the
8.
reporter.
I'd say 8 is when we meet the reporter and his air quotes.
Demon possessed girl. No,
because episode 7 is one of the ones that really left an impression on me. Cracked Mask.
Friend, isn't it?
Silent Friends. Yes, Silent Friends is the one where we meet them.
Yep. Yeah, so that changes, and
we've jumped a long way into the future.
Yeah, but there's not really like this is a trickier one to talk about because we're not getting an evolving storyline until about episode 8. That's the thing. It is episodal. It's each one's a contained story, and essentially it is like a Tales from the Crypt or a Creepshow episode where you've only a limited amount of time. So you're not going to get a really in-depth character. You know, I mean, everyone's going to be a character. Twilight Zone. In fact, this would be more equivalent to the Twilight Zone, I think. They're little moralistic stories. You have sort of black and white, borderline cartoonish characters because it's only a short window to tell the tale and everything's resolved at the end of it. And I think because we have over close to 20 years now been so used to the series-led storytelling mechanism that an episodal series is almost alien to us now. What do you think?
Yeah, I go with that. Yeah, because it's like we don't. I mean, we don't really do episodes of things individual episodes of things now, do they? There has to be
they're stuff from our childhood. You know what I mean? They're not even from adulthood. Like the shift in the sort of early, like 2005 is when the shift began. This is one of the last examples of that. If you think of that sort of time period when this came out. So from 2005 onwards, we've basically been. That's all we know now. Are series, season 1, season 2. You know. And each one has its own storyline, and there's an overarching plot. You know, maybe a 5-season plot. The more like The Expanse or Babylon 5. They tried it with Dexter at the Field. Do you know what I mean? There's been that sort of idea of there's a continuing storyline. You have to pay attention. And every episode's important. Where this, you could skip an episode quite easily and not miss anything.
I'm trying to think if there's anything running at the moment that's episodic.
Nothing.
Not that I'm watching.
Everything is series based. Everything is season. That's the method of storytelling today. Now, could we have a mix? Yes, but the problem is with the creators is they jump on a bandwagon, and that's what they're hurtling till it runs out, and then they might go back the episode, but then they'll milk that to death too. They can't seem to mix and match or create variety. It has to be copy and paste formula. That's what we all do now. And, you know, at the moment, that's what we live with is seasonal, which is good. You know what I mean? I'm not panning one against the other. I like an overarching storyline. I just I don't trust TV creators. I don't think they're very good. I like miniseries. I like the miniseries to come back. If you think about like the miniseries and stuff, they were great. Not season 2, obviously. That was freaking Dallas in space. That was a soap opera. But the first miniseries, those 3 episodes, told you couldn't have got that in a movie.
No.
And that's where that comes in. The 90s version of it, you know, it was a 2-parter, but it needed that to tell the full story.
I don't think they do it anymore because would there be the money in it?
There's money if you want to. It's not about the money. Think of the money that gets pissed up against the wall in entertainment on shite projects. The money's there. It's just we don't have the creativity anymore. And also, back to what I'm saying, everything's copy and paste. This is what we do now, and they're very tunnel visioned. There's no mix. The same way as there's no medium budget movies anymore. Either everything's in the micro budget or 400 million. Like there's no in between. And it harms because you have no variety, you have no risk taking. You can take a risk on a medium budget movie as opposed to all in or nothing.
Well, yeah, but look at these big budget movies. Look at the stuff that's coming out at the moment.
It's shit. It's absolutely terrible. It's not entertainment isn't better for it, but it's the tunnel vision of this is what we do now. It needs to cost this much. And at some point the cost of the movie became the bragging right. We have spent 200 million, you will enjoy yourself, and completely missing the point of storytelling. But series fill the gap. You don't need something to run 24 episodes of a season because it runs out of steam. So I say bring back a mix of, unless you've got like a really convoluted storyline.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But bring back the miniseries, but not everything then has to become a miniseries. That's where I have a problem because that's what they'll do. Oh, we're doing miniseries now, and then everything becomes a miniseries.
Everything
and there's no
becomes a
mix.
miniseries. There's nothing special about the miniseries, yes.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with episodal adventures. Kung Fu's another classic.
Oh,
that was episodal.
Kung Fu.
Kane just wandering through the frontier west. That's nothing changed. Bonanza, there's another one back in the day. That was episodal. So there's a space, but we've just got that so tunnel visioned with creativity. Sure, if you think about back then, when everything was episodal, nobody would dream of making a series, like a joined up storyline. If you remember, like I mentioned, like Knight Rider and Airwolf and stuff, like every so often they would have done a two-parter. And that was like completely out of the park. What do you mean I have to wait the next week to see the rest of how it plays out? And people got really annoyed because it didn't get wrapped up in one episode. Don't know if you remember all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? It swings both ways. If people are used the episodal, the idea of a season of something is completely alien. Now the fact that we're so used to seasons and like overarching storyline, the idea of episodal is alien, but I think you should have a mix. And each
there should be. I mean, it'll never I think something big is going to happen with the entertainment industry for it to change, though. Because it's kind of like all they seem to want to give us are these like couple of 100 episode multi-series storylines, and it's like I don't mind the story. I mean, most of the things that I watch are storyline, but it's give people too much of the same thing. It just gets boring.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They'll just milk it till it's dead. Where things like Babylon 5 and The Expanse had a beginning, middle, and an end. I think Breaking Bad was the same. But then they ruined it themselves with that shitty movie, which is weird. But then they brought it back with Better Call Saul, you know what I mean? But it had a beginning, middle, and end. They knew where it was going. And they managed to tell its own story. And that's very rare. Everything else has painted itself into a corner. Sure, even like one of the funniest TV shows I ever watched was Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Oh, God.
But they are startup because of the network. So when it got to season 3, like it was completely disjointed because it swapped from Stars to Netflix. I think it did the same with Lucifer. That was fun.
Yeah, Lucifer. I remember watching the first season of Lucifer, and then it moved somewhere else.
Yeah, it moved from FX to, once again, Netflix sort of saved it. So it got its final season, or final 2 seasons. But it became disjointed towards the end.
Yeah, it was never the same when it moved over.
But that's what happens, So have a beginning, middle, and end. And if it doesn't get finished, it doesn't get finished. But when it does get finished, don't milk the arse out of it. Step away.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm just
After we finish the first season of this, after we finish the first season of Help Girl, I'm actually tempted to watch the other seasons just to see if there is kind of a conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Because there's four seasons this, but each one has its own theme. Definitely, the Two Mirrors is the next one. It'll be interesting to see what they've done, but we'll know next time when we obviously finish off the rest of this. But yeah, it's like we'll go through each episode here, but really it's the same, until we get to Silent Friends. This is where it changes in tone, that we'll start to get a bit of a joined up version of storytelling and recurring characters.
Thomas has a feeling like the first few episodes are kind of like the prequel.
Yeah,
prequel,
it's just it's introduced you to the universe and the rules and how it works out. I love the fact that like the recycles scene, she's always like washing herself, and Grandma leaves her under a kimono, and the whole getting dressed thing.
It's all significant. It's all significant. It's like the red flowers that are blooming by the water, red spider lilies, licorice. In the language of flowers, they mean death.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you'll notice in a lot of anime, whenever there's a death scene, if there's flowers in the background, there'll always be red spider lilies. It's like
I thought the spider was Grandma for a minute.
Yeah.
I actually thought, but then I had to check myself, go, no, Grandma's in there with the spinning wheel. But I thought Grandma was the spider, that the spider's another character.
My God, it might be. It's certainly got it's got a big eye on its back. So but it's kind of like bathing. Is she bathing in the river, or is she purifying herself?
Well, it's very religious, isn't it?
And even though she's got up, and he's like, even though she's just got out the river, she gets dressed. I'm not quite sure if there's significance in that.
I do think there is. I think you need to understand the religion to get the significance. This is a parable at the end of the day. I do believe that. It's a modern, for the time, it's a modern parable.
She dresses like a doll, though, which is interesting.
Well, it's almost like it's a gearing up scene, isn't it? It's your typical superhero gearing up scene.
It's like Batman. You see Batman get dressed and then he goes roaring out in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
The Batmobile in this is a bit weirder, though.
Well, it's, because he has to be the carriage as well. Poor guy. He has to do everything. The other two don't do anything. They just pose and make wisecracks.
That's pretty much it. I'm sure that like the other guy is obviously some kind of like spy who keeps watch. He's like the guy who gets the information. It's like Tome, whatever her name is, she seems to be the one who gets things done. It's like if something needs to be in a certain position or something needs to be retrieved or something like that, she seems to be the one. Paul, what's his name? He just gets done with all the grunt work. And he just shoulders it. What a great character.
Yeah. I just love this side of his head. Like he's at the wheel. Like he's not even at the front driving the thing.
It's just like... Yeah, that is just... It's just... I tried to look up if there was any significance to it, and I couldn't find anything.
They're very... That's what I mean. We don't get the exposition.
I'm guessing it could be one of those things where it's like you're supposed to know it all already. So it's
Yeah,
like you're supposed to be watching it, and it's like, yes, you understand why it's like there's like the screaming carriage with the burning wheels, and you understand the significance of the straw doll and the red thread, and we're just kind of like, nope, don't get it.
yeah, but that's the same as some of our folklore. If you think some of the old tales, because we don't tell them anymore, it gets lost. So sometimes it needs to be explained. But I don't need every episode having a load of exposition, because if you want to research it, you'll research it.
Strange, very strange. But yeah, I mean, it's I do. I mean, when we're doing these, I try and look for bits of information from the background of the anime and who is involved in creating it and writing it, and there isn't a lot for this.
No, and considering the fact how long it's went on for as well, it's
It-
not like it's a one and done.
It just kind of like it just kind of had its time, and that was it.
If you're in the Discord, folks, there I've just popped an image in of Yonodi and the carriage, and I just think it's borderline comical, but there's something great about it. Like he's not even he doesn't even get to be in the front of the carriage driving; he's in the wheel.
Just so you know, I've got the theme tune to Ab Fab going through my head at the moment. You know, wheels on fire.
I'm trying
and inside there is I.
Yep,
looking,
she gets transported.
Looking as bored as anyone could be.
She is not invested. She is not invested in her. It almost
feels as if it's something she's being forced into, because it's like every time somebody connects through like Hellink, Grandma's like, "Hi, you've got another message. I've left your under kimono here."
Yeah.
Yes, Grandma.
Hang on, let me. Oh God, I can nearly type. I should have done this before we started.
I'm just kind of like going through my list of people that you could use on Howling, but if you can only use it once, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I have a list of at least.
It's not worth it. So instead of going to Howlink and getting one of them sent and condemning myself, I'm just going to like join social media and slag them all off. What are we looking for? What are we looking for?
Let me. I'm just typing it out because I can't copy and paste because of subtitles.
Oh,
got it. I know there's just something about this. I just love it. Hang on, I'm going to stick it in the Discord.
Della's arrived.
Oh, pitiful shadow, lost in darkness, demeaning and bringing harm to others. A damned soul wallowing in sin. Care to give death a try.
That last line is awesome. It's like Ipin Shidemiru or something like that.
Yeah, I want to learn Japanese so I could say that. I actually do want to learn Japanese because it's such a great line. The way she delivered it slightly different each time.
It is a brilliant line.
And then that's it. And then it goes really peaceful. Like every time she's actually transporting them at the end.
That it's the thing I notice is when she's going through like her litany, it's like there's all the noise going on in the background of what's happening, but when she gets to that last line, everything goes silent.
And then the blossoms, like the significance of the flowers as well. When she opens the kimono and the blossoms come out, like there's significance to that. There's a deeper story here, and a sort of, like I said, it is a parable. You'd probably be able to find it. Like somebody who's studied this will be able to tell you exactly where it comes from. But yeah, when she's actually transporting the men finally over the bridge to hell, it's peaceful, it's done, it's over. Oh, there's Dale. Hey Dale, how are you? Yeah, unless you're in the anime, you wouldn't have heard of us. But this is why we're here, to introduce people to all aspects of horror. Like there's all sorts of ways of storytelling and various mediums. And
the more obscure, the better. Thing is, a lot of these, a lot of the horror anime that's out there, they've never been seen outside of Japan. I think this used to be on the Funimation website before Crunchyroll took over and deleted it.
Screwed them over.
Thanks, Crunchy.
Yeah, I remember all that back in the God, that was that even 2 years ago?
It's 2 years ago at most. It's not that long ago.
It's less than 2 years. It's actually quite a recent thing when Crunchyroll took over Funimation, and then they just screwed everybody that had a Funimation account.
Yeah, because it's like if you were with Funimation, you used to be able to actually like buy anime off them, and then you could download that anime onto your computer whenever you wanted to. But as soon as Crunchyroll took over, Crunchyroll was like, "Nah, sorry. If you want to watch anime, because it's like you've got to watch anime, you've got to pay for it. Because you could end your Funimation account, you could like leave Funimation, but you'd still have the link to download because it was your property. You bought it. It's like, no, sorry."
No, and that's why there's resentment today towards entertainment entities.
Crunchyroll, I mean, Crunchyroll could be going down the gurgler, and a lot of people hope it is.
It's the same as Amazon and all the rest of them. They've left the model of actually providing for the customer, and it's all about rinsing the customer as much as possible. And most people go along with it. That's the sad thing.
That is the reason why most people are turning away from the anime streaming websites and they're heading off towards more like grey zone websites, because it's like the anime they want is there to watch. They don't have to jump through humps to watch it. They're not going to get screwed over to watch it. There's series there that it's like have been taken, that like the main streaming services has put them down. Because it's like I mentioned a while ago, I mentioned a website called there's an anime website called Go Anime, which had a catalogue of anime that goes back 60, 70 years.
An archive service, you mean? That actually
it's gone. It's gone. They shut it down. They deleted the contents of that archive. Half of the stuff that was on there now you will never see again.
No, this is what happens with, I want 100% of the market share and nobody else have any. And it's not for good reasons. Let's be honest. Nobody's doing it for good reasons. It's all jockeying for position and market share percentages and squeeze more money out of people. And software is not the same way, and gaming is not the same way. And that's why everyone is just pissed off. Because you don't feel happy anymore buying anything or going for you buy a game now and it's never complete. It's buggy as hell, and they're continually fixing it, and then they'll put an update and screw it over.
Was it Ubisoft who say you don't own your games anymore? You just kind of like rent access. You just pay for access to them.
You're paying a hell of a lot. And sure, what was it? One of the game developers came out because people are complaining about certain games. I can't even remember half the ones I don't play anyway because I'm no interest. Like sort of mainstream games.
Yeah.
But he says, "How dare you complain?" But people are going, "Well, I paid 50 quid. Where is it? Am I getting that back?" No, you bought it. That's your problem. And they give you like a 2 hour window. So if you play like 2 hours of the game and don't like it, that's it. Tough. You bought it. You know, it's sick. It's just treating the customer like an idiot. And it really gets in my goat. It just annoys me no end.
But the problem is, it's the customer that's allowed them to treat them like idiots for so long.
But that's why you have like the grip unplugging, which I was part of. You know, right? I'm not paying for cable TV anymore. It's a waste of money. I'll just buy DVDs to rent. You know, I'll just buy my own DVDs, then own it. I'll wait till the season finishes and I'll buy the box set. That's the way I used to do stuff. I had no interest in TV. That happened, and that's what led to streaming. Then streaming's going. We're sort of hitting that crux point now, where people are like, "Nah, I'm not playing anymore." It just takes that final push where more people just go, "Do you know what? Nah." Like if I sign up for a streaming service, it's only for the month because there's particular things I want to watch,
Yeah,
and then I'll
yeah.
unsubscribe again. I'm not keeping a recurring subscription because there's no point.
Whoops!
Don't die.
It's all right. It's just my keyboard shelf falling off again. It does it at least once every couple of these. I need a new computer desk, but I am far too British to buy one.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat here. Actually, I need to get. I'll fix this about a bit, but I need a bit more space for my keyboard. And if I'm writing or anything on this, is terrible. But yeah,
there we go.
Where were we? Yeah,
Fixed.
episode 8, Silent and Friends. This is where Sugami sees Ayama, and it's almost like Ayama is studying her or following her for other reasons.
This is where the plot starts, but we've only covered episode 1 so far.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. We could go through all the other episodes, but really, it's the same until episode 8.
There's some good stories in there. It's just the fact that it's kind of like 2/3, at least like 2/3 is just copy paste, because it's kind of like I say, person A gets upset with person B. Here's somebody talking about the Helllink website, gets in contact. A gives them like the black straw doll, together with the ultimatum that it's like send one person to hell, dig 2 graves, that kind of thing. So they get off to think about it. Then it's like the person they're angry with says something that makes them even more angry. So they pull the thread, and then they get sent to hell. And then in the final scene, it's like you see the person who was angry standing there, being all melancholy and thinking about what they did and how they're fine with it and happy now.
Yeah, and they accept their fate. For example, I suppose we'll go the girl from the tall tower, and funny enough, they're one episode after the other. Girl from the tall tower and Early Afternoon Window.
Yeah,
are sort of my 2 favorite episodes up to this point.
Yeah, because it's like Girl from the Tall Tower. The the only note I wrote is like best so far. Because it's like this is the Girl from the Tall Tower is the one where it broke the mold of the previous 4.
Yeah, because we have
it's like
Riho is she's the boss, the director of this company, and she has an intern, almost like an adopted daughter, like a strange setup, who everyone thinks she's useless. She's only there out of pity, but it turns out she's the mastermind. She's like a supercomputer hacker. And she's the one trying to get in touch with Hell Girl. But because her requests aren't...
I'm going to say she's not the one who wants to get in touch with Hell Girl.
No, but she's going through the process because Riho can't even operate, isn't even a user, never mind a developer.
So she's
running this software empire and doesn't... Sounds like Microsoft.
I'm gonna say you do wonder where they come up with some of these plot lines and characters from, don't you? It's like, But yeah, it's like she wants to get in touch with Hellgirl so she can use Hellgirl to assassinate the people who are in their way.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a scene at the beginning where it's I can't remember who says it, but it's like she seems to be ignoring this one, or oh look, it's that one again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's not Grandma.
Yeah, I think Grandma's purpose is just to give Aya, someone to sound off to. But Aya doesn't seem to want to at this moment.
It's like, there's another message for you. I just kind of goes, puts the origami down, slumps into the room.
Yep. Which is fair enough. She's like, oh, that's crap again, But I feel sorry for her. Imagine going to your home, right, and pulling up in your bedroom or your living room windows, and all you see is your workplace.
That is, yeah.
No.
That will be that.
Although my workplace is partly in my home, but
Well, yeah.
that's right. At least I can close the door and forget about it. So if I want to close the door to here, I can forget about it for an hour. But
at least you've got like easy access to a cup of tea. I
Yeah.
mean, but yeah, just imagine you get home, you hate your job, you hate the person you work with. You get in, you walk in, you open the curtains,
that's all you see. Nah.
and he's just there in front of you. Oh man.
What was it? Gremlins 2 and Poltergeist 3. They were sort of trying to feed this idea of it was basically a tower block and you lived in your workplace. And that was almost part of the horror story as well.
Yeah.
Like you actually lived where you worked. You were like a few floors up. And that was it. You got the lift down to your place of work, and everybody you live with were your colleagues. I'd have thrown myself out the window.
It's a wonder she didn't, really.
Like, that's the next sort of level,
But Girl from the Tall Tower, I like the way the story developed in this. Especially the bit where it's like, this guy's tried to hack into our company. Find me all the information on him by morning. And she literally goes into work at like 3:15 in the morning to get this work done.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, yeah, tomorrow. And then it's like, later on, she sees a news report of a man's body being pulled out of the river. It's the man she's just found all the details on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's when she starts to realize what's happening, and you can see the main character's resentment building up and building up and building up until she actually contacts Hellgate, and it works, which basically saves her life.
Yeah, because she was next, because she was about to expose her. And then we'll have this guy, one of the previous employees, like 2 beers and he's anybody's. Just tells everything, incriminates himself and all. And you're just like, okay, mate, right? You're not very bright, are you?
What a guy! What a guy! Actually, excuse me, meeting onion. I'll stop now. But it's just kind of like, oh yeah, we were all punished and we were sent out to work in like the stores instead of working at head office. Only women are allowed to work there now. And I kind of liked a bit more exposition on that. I wanted to know why.
I'm happy. I've worked in head offices. I hate head offices. If I can not be anywhere near the head office, because that's where all the Muppets are.
I don't mind working in offices as long as the coffee machine's good.
No, but all the grifters gravitate towards the head office, and you're stuck with those sort of idiots. I have no interest in any large organization. Keep me away from the head office. I can get that clear in my current place. I'm like, do not put me near the boss. But it's just, don't have me in contact with him. I'm not that. I'm not a good person to be. I'll just tell him exactly what I think of him. Yeah. I would be jumping for joy. The fact that they're like, oh no, we don't get to work in head office anymore. I get to work out here. I'm like, mate, you've got the better end of the deal. They're all killing each other out there.
Yeah, it's like
You're just getting on with your life. They're all like literally stabbing each
but,
other in the back.
But I love the way that the villain of the piece, whatever his name is, because the one problem with this is because it's different people in every single episode. You don't really take notes. The only names you learn are the names of the characters who basically repeat in the episodes, not the name of the individuals.
Which, you know, it's the same as, like I said, it's exactly the same as Twilight Zone or Creepshow or Tales of the Unexpected. I feel like you're not meant to really. It's the story as opposed to the characters in this case.
Yeah, because I looked up a list of cast members, and the only cast members it gives you are the recurring ones.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But yeah, but she sets a hitman, a hired goon on Rio. Not Rio.
No, Rio's. I can't remember the other girl's name because they didn't really mention it. The geek girl.
Yeah,
she's legit about to get killed, about to die at that very second.
And I saved her by pulling her into her world.
Yeah, well, she pulled she was sort of told, right, you've got a second here. Basically, make your choice. You're about to die. You can either go to heaven or take her with you and go to hell.
So we have the what? So we have the thread pulling. We have the chase scene. We have A's litigate. We have like the boat scene going into hell, going in towards hell. And then we have it's like we have kind of like the bit at the end. It's kind of like the after story part, and it's kind of like, well, fancy that the boss knew nothing about computers. Does anybody know where she is? No, she's disappeared. Oh, where's Geek Girl, the one who was actually doing everything? Oh, apparently she's moved into the boss's condo. So I'm kind of like, has she taken over the business?
I think so. I think it was basically she's been bequeathed everything.
Yeah, right. In oh yeah, because she was. Oh, there was the scene earlier on where the guy died, where the guy was killed, and she was telling Geek Girl to get in there quickly and like put like a new will on a folder in his PC and date it back 10 days. So I wonder if she did the same at the end, and she's now running the company.
Probably. That's
because she was going about I'm going to live my life till its fullest until the day I die, and go to hell for my crimes.
Yeah, and this is where, like I said, even the fact that she got the offer, technically she should just died and not had the chance. But I actually decided that she wanted to carry out this curse, so it was different from most. She's normally indifferent until the thread's pulled.
So in my head, this is a happily ever after.
Yeah, as much as it can be for this sort of show. Like, she doesn't mind eternity and torment.
Yeah, but that was the one. That was the one. Episode 5, Girl from a Tall Tower, was the one that piqued my interest. So I'm not saying the previous 4 episodes were bad. They were just very.
If it had been 12 episodes of episodes 1 to 4, this would have been hard.
I think it was just the fact the format of each one was so close. The story was different, but it's like the scenes from like it's like for the opening credit and the intro, like the bit where the chase starts and they're sent to hell. It was more or less exactly the same in every single one.
Yeah. That's what I mean. If it had been like that the whole 12, I wouldn't have been interested.
I've got to be quiet. Episode 4, Silent Cries, was so John Wick. It was unbelievable.
The fact that the vet was so dastardly, like openly.
He was. I'm like. If he'd have looked and sounded like Terry Thomas, he couldn't have been more of a cad. He needed the moustache. But it's just like, dog dies, girl decides she's going to get vengeance for her dog.
It
No
wasn't
matter
even
what.
the girl. The girl was completely oblivious. It was the veterinary assistant, the vet tech, that told her,
And then it was kind of like, that's it.
which I would understand if a vet did that to my dog. Like, you hurt an animal, that's it. You're done as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't be a veteran. I get too attached. Like, even there was one time I was thinking about joining the RSPCA, but I could not sit and calmly interview someone who committed animal abuse. My idea of calmly interviewing would be dancing on their head. So I would fail.
Face-shaped indentation on the wall where you just keep ramming their heads against it.
You did that, right? Poof, poof, poof. That would be the interview.
See, I was watching that, and I'm like, huh? What? Because it just I don't know. It was just, it was almost, it came across, that one almost came across as a parody. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to laugh at it or not.
Because I wouldn't make it, if you want to be a vet to the stars, then you just raise your prices to a certain level that only the stars can afford it.
It's like the dog died because he was busy discussing his golf handicap with some high-to-do politician or something.
The mayor or something, the governor.
He can't look after that dog with the broken leg because he's got to go and see to this film star's dog who's got an upset tummy or something like that. And then the dog with the broken leg's in massive pain because, of course, it couldn't have the operation and now it's too late. And he's just like, what an arsehole.
Yeah, but you're meant to think, that's the sort of, like I said, everything wrapped up in one episode, black and white sort of structure of what used to be TV up until like the 2006, 2005, 2006 when the shift started to happen. Early afternoon window as well. That was you could picture this.
I enjoyed. I've got to be honest. I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, we'll have this creepy neighbor, and we don't get, obviously it's one that we don't get the full context of what happened, but we'll have this creepy neighbor staring out the window, looking at this mother and his daughter, trying to get through life, just absolute hatred. And yeah, there's something just off about the whole neighborhood as a whole. That's what they have. Thankfully, we don't have it over here. But in America, they have these things called homeowners associations.
Oh, God. I hear plenty of nightmares about homeowners. That's basically it. But it's kind of like she absolutely hates the woman living next door to her, and it gives you no reason why. I had to Google pot stickers because I did not know what they were.
I thought they meant like stickers like around a pot or something, or was it a food?
It's a food. I googled it, and apparently they're like a little like folded dumpling called gyoza, but in America they totally call them pot stickers.
Okay,
I have never heard that term before.
Neither did I. I thought it was a glue or something that they were sticking like jam jar lids on or something, or jam jar labels.
Some food last night. There was so much garlic in it that we could smell it over here, and I'm going to make everybody hate you for it. I'm like, what? Why?
Such a random thing.
It's crazy. And then her husband comes home and it's like, my boss has given me what for? You've been annoying his wife, haven't you? Slap.
Yeah, that was messed up.
And I'm like, okay. I know your average Japanese salaryman's job is everything to him, and they will do everything they can and as much bootlicking as possible to climb up the corporate ladder. But there are things that you do that are going too far, my son.
Yeah, that's like, but is that not contradicting against the whole idea of peace in your home?
It is very Japanese, though, I've got to be honest.
You know what I mean? It's like one's going against the other.
Yeah, it's kind of like you go to work, then you come home, and home is your refuge away from work, where you can just forget about everything that's happened at work.
Because even if a boss, I remember this from Shogun, not not Toranaga, but basically Bunto comes into Blackthorn's house and gets drunk and rowdy to the point where Blackthorn's going to kill him, but he then apologizes, even though he's higher status, because he was a guest in his home and he disturbed his peace. I remember that as it being a massive thing.
But it's
I'm a firm believer in that. I believe the minute you close your front door, that's it. You should have peace.
I'm like, don't punch your wife, mate. Punch me because I'll punch you back.
Nah, that was but is this not meant to show how, like, it's one of them creepy neighborhoods where everybody's connected, even through the workplace, and you get to live in the neighborhood. Back to that,
like it comes across as being quite obvious that it's like their family. It's like the victims are new to the area. They haven't been living there long. They're the outsider.
And it's being used, and it's just trying to use an extreme example of how this is by pissing her off or by irking her. That's it.
We thing is we find out why she's angry at her later on towards the end.
But there's also other shit that goes on in this episode. You're like, holy crap.
Yeah, it's like the mother has a go at like the woman has a go at the mother and the daughter. Then the woman's daughter is bullying the main character's daughter at school. It's like they're complaining to their father, who is the main character's boss. So he's bullying him at work, and he's coming home and he's taking it out of his family.
Because it's been made clear to him that it's his wife's fault.
Yeah, it's been made clear to him that it's his wife's fault. It's his wife who's doing it. His wife is annoying the other wives, who are all complaining to the wife, who is complaining to him. It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah,
and it's.
Well, it turns out the mother caught the main antagonist in this cheating on her husband.
Yeah,
and that's why she hates her, because if you're having an affair, you don't leave the curtains open. That's a bit silly.
It's like she doesn't come across as being the smartest person. I mean, the thing is that she sends her boyfriend round to the main character's mum's house
to
basically beat the shit out of her and anything else,
which then got photographed,
which then caused her to turn the taps on and down every painkiller in the house, but she survived.
Yeah. One of the notes I put was just some lifestyles are not worth it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is why I'll never be a corporate person. I'll never climb the ladder, because I don't need those sort of poisonous people in my life. There's not enough money in the world. There's not enough riches or high enough lifestyle to make that enticing. It's the same as this. I don't go clout chasing either, or getting involved in the drama on YouTube. You know, a lot of bigger channels are all about their beefs and their bitching about each other, and that gets them views and makes them money.
Life's too short for drama.
Yeah. So personally, this strikes a chord with me, because I'm completely uninterested in that stuff. No interest whatsoever. Even the point even when I was in Bloody Army trying to get that next level of promotion, I saw the backstabbing and shit going on.
Yeah, it's exactly the same kind of thing that is going on here. Out of view. It's all to do with pecking armor. It's all pecking order. It's all to do with how deep in the other person's back you can get that knife.
Yeah, and I can't be arsed with that.
It's actually a really, really horrible window on like the kind of situation that quite a few wives in Japan are in. Because it's like it's success. You must succeed. The pressure to succeed. You've got to succeed at school. You've got to succeed at college, university. You've got to succeed in the job you have. You're always trying to take that one step higher up the ladder.
But the problem is, hierarchical structures are pyramids. goes a gap. There's only 1 point. So eventually, it's easier going from here to here. But once you start getting to here,
It's
all
twice as
you're
hard,
doing is for
twice
micro
as hard to take
percentage,
that step up. Yeah.
and you got to get to the point because even if you're at the pyramid, there's always somebody wanting to topple you.
Yeah.
Somebody wants
Yeah.
to sit in the throne.
As you're climbing the ladder, there are people pushing you up from underneath, but there's plenty of people above you trying to stamp on your fingers to make you let go.
Yeah.
But I liked the ending of this one. The ending of this one pleased me because it's the bit where there's an awesome scene where you get the it wasn't so much of a chase scene, but it was kind of like she was the lady in question, like the person going to hell was caught.
Mrs. Todaka.
Yeah, Mrs. Tanaka was caught in flagrante delicto, or whatever the term is, by her husband. And wherever she turned, her husband was there, and she was surrounded by all her neighbors, and her daughter was in tears. And then it just kind of like shows her writhing around, laughing and crying on the bottom of the boat that takes her to hell. And I turns around and she says, like, it's something along the lines, "You're going to hell, like I'm taking you to hell, but I think you'll fit in there."
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. And then you get the bit at the end where
the daughter's then
the
shamed
daughter,
because the infidelity was caught out.
the daughter of Tanaka's daughter is going through the same kind of shit that the main character was. And it's like, "Oh, we had your mum ran off with her friend." That's not the kind of thing the wife of a senior director does. And it's like the MC's walking along. She's just kind of like, she's got this like everyone who falls into a covenant with Hell Girl receives like a mark that looks like an eye somewhere on their body. And it's like hers is
test.
hers is, I was gonna say, hers is just poking out from like the what's it? She's got the top button of her blouse open. And she's kind of like, I'm glad I did what I did. It's like, and even my mother's starting to smile again.
Yeah, the noble, just absolute self-sacrifice.
That was so, I mean, so some of the previous ones I questioned it because it's almost like Hell Girl can't fix things.
She's not there to fix things.
All she can do is get you revenge. Because I think she says that in is it Tarnished Mound, the baseball one?
Oh God, that's what a waste of baseball is a waste of time.
It's just another form of cricket. But this guy is basically angry because he's like, his match hasn't gone the way it's been. So he basically beats this fat kid up with a baseball, and says like, "So I don't get into trouble. Tell him you pushed him down the embankment." Yeah, no problem. Fat kid, this other kid goes home. Fat kid dies overnight.
Yeah,
of internal injuries, and everybody blames this other kid because he covered for like the knobhead,
the superstar. Yeah, that's getting
he covered for him.
Coaches.
And it's basically his family are begging forgiveness from the family of the boy who's died, and he's ostracized.
Which, once again, that's a very Japanese thing, isn't it?
It is. He gets
reparations to another family, which is something we don't have over here.
He gets kicked out of school. This other guy's like in the limelight because he's going to become a pro baseballer. Well, right until the moment he gets sent to hell, anyway. But I'm pretty sure that was in that one.
But the reason why, like the guy's a complete Hanagasa is a complete sociopath.
But I think that's the one where Ace says like, I can't make things better. I can't bring people back to life. I can't mend the things with his family. I can't mend the things with your family. All I can do is give you revenge.
Yeah, and the reason why I did it was even more twisted and just like sociopathic. He only beat the boy up because he needed one person to drop out of the team because he didn't want to play that.
Oh, in the tournament, yeah.
Yeah, because playing that tournament would have made him tired for the next round of scoutings or what.
That is twisted. He does. He said there's a line where
it wasn't even out of hatred or anything else. It was basically
want to wear his shoulder out for something as stupid as a school competition.
Yeah. So that's why he beat the guy to a pulp.
Yeah, I made grind. I
So
made
he drop
grind
out
my.
of the team.
See, a couple of these made me grind my teeth.
But it's meant to. Like, I know you said some of the stuff was
Mm.
trouble, but when you actually, there's a deeper, I think as well, while we have an appreciation, I don't claim to understand Japanese culture or the full intricacies or ins and outs of it. But I think it makes more sense if you did. Like, these are folk tales just brought into urban legend, which is like I said, the last iteration of modern storytelling before everything went to shit. Like, it was the last time you got storytelling at the basic level. You didn't need a degree. You didn't need to go and do a course. You didn't need permission online from the head of whatever group that says
Yeah.
you're going to tell stories. It was basically people around the campfire. And
Anyone, I mean, anyone can tell a story.
no, but
Anyone.
today people are trying to say, and this is the poison of social media, you can only tell a story with my permission. That's the mantra. And people are trying to be the ones given the permission. I allow you to tell a story. You see it all the time. You see any writing group.
Yeah.
And it's shit because we see society demean. I still firmly believe, and I've always said this from the start of this channel, is as humanity, as a society, we are built on storytelling. That is how we figure things out. That is how we get the moral compass. It's through fables and tales and folklore. And for some reason, people have got in their head it's stopped. It never stops.
It never stops. It's unfortunate. Right. I'm going to say this again. Storytelling's voice isn't loud enough to draw people away from the flashing lights they see on their phones and their PCs. It's like, why would you want to sit and read something or listen to a story that could teach you something worthwhile when you can farm likes on Facebook?
But that's where that's fake. It's if we had an EMP go off and it all disappeared tomorrow, this channel gone, everything.
The world would collapse. People wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
Some of us would. Some of us get out the old quill and ink, and go back to basics. Some of us would still know how to make human connections and would be able to carry on. But for the most part, and I actually see it, I see young people now, and I'm working with them quite a bit now, and they're completely clueless. It's sad. Like, there's something missing. This technology has helped me over the years, and it's been an addition to my life. It hasn't been my only life. I've been able to go and do my own thing. Oh, getting too philosophical, broke him. He's like, no more of this.
Oh God! I thought I dropped them. My internet's yo-yoing, and I'm like, don't do this, please don't do this. Can anybody hear me?
I was right. No, but people are missing something massive from their lives, and I think social media, the little square, the little rectangle things, have taken away more than what they've given. When you know nothing else, it's a classic example of indulgence versus compulsion. They've become a compulsion now, and people need it. Yep, 100%. Children don't have imaginations, and you can actually see it affecting. They can't problem solve. They can't think outside the box. They can't actually function. I've no words for it. It's sad.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm back. Hello.
yep. You're wibbling in and out. It's all right. I'll get off with
So
some.
it seems to have sorted itself out now. They're doing some work on the connection, and it's playing about with it a bit. But I agree with that. Technology has ruined children's imaginations. I mean, you don't need an imagination when your entire hobby is like making a blue hedgehog jump across the screen. So you don't need to play like cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians. You don't need to play any of that. You don't need to run around fields anymore because it's all on screen, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
Like, they did a study, and this was like 10 years ago. Giving kids tactile toys, and they all went for the devices.
Yeah,
And they haven't developed it. Like, the whole point of the tactile toys is you're learning motor skills.
yeah.
That's the thing. You can't do that just getting this silly thing and going net. You don't learn actual skills. And I'm seeing people now that don't know how to make a cup of soup.
Oh no, that's depressing. That's really depressing.
I'm legit. I watched 2 youngsters struggle over making a cup of soup.
Damn,
That's
really bad. See,
and it's not even making it up. It's not being hyperbolic. I've witnessed it, and I've scratched my head and went.
My mum taught me how to from 9 years old. When I was 9 years old, I could feed myself. It wouldn't be anything special. It'd be like a boiled egg, poached egg on toast, something like that, a cup of tea. But I could feed myself if I needed to.
It's a start. It's the building the skill set.
Yeah, but it's like Dell says, climbing a tree instead of playing on a PS5. I spent going up to the age of about 14, let's say. I spent half my life falling out of trees. Nowadays, if a kid falls out of a tree and hurts himself, the parents will be done for child abuse because they let him climb a tree. It's
okay. I tried to explain to somebody, this was about 2 weeks ago, they didn't have the money to go to Subway. And Asda's is around the corner. They went, you can get a packet of Baps and some ham for like $150 in total. And it didn't register of get it, cut the Bap, open it, put the meat inside, and you got a sandwich.
Why should I make my own sandwich?
I mean,
when that bloke will make it for me?
No. The legit could not understand.
Wow,
that was possible. And I've just went, oh, what the hell? Yes, same kid. We'll have got one of them analog phones, to ring. He wanted to connect to the Wi-Fi for his mobile. I was like, no, I don't do that. But here, if you want to make a phone call to someone, here's that. They could not operate the phone. I mean, legit, wow. They actually went, no, I can't do this. And they walked off. They could not operate an analog phone. And I'm not even talking rotary. I'm talking push button. I have witnessed this over the last month, and I'm gobsmacked. I'm actually seeing the damage of. It's never at the thing. Like I said, storytelling is the start. That's the beginning of imagination, opening up minds. Like in corporate, they talk about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Have you heard of that shit? No, right? So you're straight away by removing storytelling. You end up with a fixed mindset.
I'm still stunned at the fact that there's people out there who don't actually know how phones work. It's like I still haven't got my head over.
Or analog clocks. Or you know what I mean? It's true. Or they can't write. There's people illiterate today.
There are kids out there who are writing nothing but capitals because they leave the caps lock on their phone.
You don't know how to sentence structure.
Are you? I keep telling people you is a vowel. You is like you is a consonant. You is a vowel, not an adverb.
But here's the thing: the reason we use TextSpeak, like we were there at the invention of TextSpeak because it was economically sound. Text messages cost 10p each, and you had a limited number of characters. That's why TextSpeak was invented. But the minute we got proper tariffs and a change, we went straight back to full sentences because it didn't cost anymore. But yeah, there's legit people don't know how to communicate else any other way. And I just say 2 generations time, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It's sad, but I agree with that.
And yeah, it starts with storytelling. Storytelling is the basic way to impart information and moral guidelines and thought, invoke imagination. Without your imagination, there's no solving problems. You need to have an imagination. You need to, if you don't have an imagination, you can't have a vision. People that wrote stories led to the technology today. Go back to flipping Star Trek, you know what I mean? That's things like that is what sparked somebody watched that as a kid, sparked their imagination, and then they went to try and make it. But
I mean,
it's
Star
stopped.
Trek is responsible for mobile phones. Thanks, Star Trek.
And tablets and stuff, you know what I mean? It's
Well, I'm depressed now. How about you? Quick, let's get on. Let's get on to the next episode.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we got to
Cracked Mask.
no, I think we're going. I think we're skipping past most of these, weren't we? Oh, that was a strange one. That was completely.
Oh, it was so good though.
This was a twist and turn because
The
Miss
twist.
Kuriana wasn't the villain in this.
She right, but we thought she was because it was like her daughter, air quotes, her daughter was the one. It's like Ayaka is the one who was kind of like being put. It looks as if she was being put on. It's like she's an actress. She's learned to be an actress. She wants to have she wants to have the role beside her mother in the next production. But
she's also getting everything. It's already basically a done deal. She's getting everything handed to her.
Yeah, because when the adoption is finished, she will become her mother's daughter,
and therefore she needs to reach the standard, and she can't do the Willow move. You know, she can't actually do the moves.
And there's just like anger there, and she's hanging out with their friends who want her to they want her to lend them money. And so in order to like she comes up with a deal where they're going to break in and threaten her mother, and she's going to save her mother, thus proving what an amazing what amazing daughter she is.
But all she had to do was learn the Willow move.
Yeah,
like, that was actually more complicated. All she had to do was spend a few hours practicing and get the move right.
I like the fact it's like she comes in with that umbrella and she's almost like, "Ha ha, mother, I have come to rescue you, bonk. Begone, evildoer. I shall defend my mother." She puts up such a bad act that her mum's just like, "Yeah, that was fake."
Yeah, it's just she's not even a good actress. And
he's like you're a terrible actress. I am not going to believe that.
The fact that Miss Kuriana is proficient in Aikido.
Yeah, that as well.
I was dealing with it herself anyway.
But it's just the fact that she denies everything and gets in touch with her Hell Girl. And it's like the thing is, it's like it's stated several times that in order for Hell Girl to get in touch with you, in order for her to reply, your grievance has to be real. So simply because she can't do that with the Willow move, and her mother's going like, "You've got to learn how to do it," is enough of a reason for her to hate her adoptive mother so much that she can get her sent to hell. I'm like, Jesus, girl.
Yeah, and it's not right. You know, it's in her head she feels aggrieved, but it doesn't mean it's. But then again, this is where Aya has shown that she doesn't relish her role.
Yeah.
And we haven't got her story yet. That's the thing. She has taken on this mantle, and I don't think she wants it. She just wants to sit peacefully in the garden.
That she states that when she has the big argument with her mother at the end, she states that she isn't interested in being an actress. She just wants the fame. She just wants the money. Because it's like the role that she wanted is given to someone else.
That was Karaoke, who was see at the start during the gala thing,
Yeah,
who introduces herself polite, you know, and you think, oh, she's going to appear later.
yeah. So
But
Ayaka gets her two friends to. Ayaka invites her. What's she? She invites her out for a drink,
mhm.
and then she dumps her with her two friends who she's already tried asked to attack her mother,
Yeah,
and
and they
they
just
just
openly do it in the middle of the day as
they
well.
it's like you do. It's like you do in Japan, and they write off her career.
Yeah, because already Miss Koreana is like, nah, you're done. So I
Yeah,
made the decision. And that's when we see Ayaka, just a vicious, spiteful person.
I love the bit because it's like her two friends have poured this mysterious blue liquid down Karoka. Oh my god,
Karaoke, isn't it?
Karaoke's throat, and it's like we've seen her in like a hospital bed with like a bandage around her throat as if her throat's been operated on. So God knows what they poured down it, but she's air quotes lost her voice. So it's probably something pretty serious they poured
Like
down there.
acid or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
And it's like she has this argument with her mother because her mother says that's it. It's like what's it? Because she's like, yeah, she's going to tell everybody that I'm in the role now that other bitch is gone. She's going to tell everybody that I'm in the role and I'm going to act behind her, and then all the papers are going to be signed, and I'm going to be adopted. I'm going to be rich, have a life of luxury. And she's like, no, we're cancelling the next production. I'm disbanding the acting troupe. Forget anything about being adopted. You're back on the streets.
Mhm.
And that's when they have the massive slanging match, and she runs in and she pulls open her locker. She takes the straw doll out, and the red thread's already been pulled.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that bit.
Because it seems to be there's only one curse at a time.
Hmm.
And, oh God, I can't remember his name. Bionto.
Mm.
Wainudu is bound to the doll.
Yeah,
And
I
it
feel so
doesn't,
sorry for him.
but it doesn't matter. Once
Mm.
that curse is in place,
Mm.
it doesn't matter who
It,
unravels it.
it's almost like the straw doll is a loaded gun.
Mm.
As long as the person who unties the red thread has a grievance, it's like they can curse anyone they want to.
Yeah, it's like it's out there in the meta, from the metaphysical
Yeah.
to the physical realm, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah,
And Ayaka's like, who's done this? Who's pulled the thrill off my red doll? Just before she goes to hell. I like the fact that in every single one, the person who's going to hell is given a chance to redeem themselves.
if they admit their sin, their guilt.
Don't ask me what happens. I have no idea.
Well, these are right things we need to see. Is what happens if somebody actually has a redemption arc, and what happens if somebody doesn't pull the thread. You know there are two things we need explored, which hopefully in the next 12 episodes will give us. If it doesn't, I'll be annoyed because it's, no, but you always need, look at any anthology series, likes of let's see, the one with Peter Cushing, the Amicus film, From Beyond the Grave, the antique shop. So the person that didn't cheat him got to survive the experience. So you had one of the stories in the anthology that the customer didn't try to cheat him, so they didn't get cursed. They were able to survive. They brought the cursed object into their home, but they actually got through the experience because they were true. So we need one of those episodes. So we need an episode where somebody changes their mind, doesn't pull the thread. What happens then? How is it rescinded? And then we also need one is what happens when the person cursed shows true repentance.
All these Damn it! All these questions. We got 12 episodes, unless of course they decide to show those things in a later series,
Thanks, Dale. Catch you later. Thanks for
which
jumping in.
which would be really annoying.
Yeah, if they just gloss over it and never give us that, then
Yeah.
it'll be.
Yeah, but it's like the last 3 episodes, including Girl Clock Tower, Early Afternoon Window, Crack Mask. These are the ones that started to get me interested in this again.
Yeah, I think the first, like I said, this isn't meant to be binge watched. That wasn't the format it was put out in. Where I think we're so used to things giving you the option you can wait with the week, but you can also binge watch them. You know, that's the format today. This was from a different time.
Yes. Yeah.
And the first 3 episodes are just to get people, like, it's a week. They're a week apart when they're aired. So this is just to get people, the first couple of episodes, just to get people used to the format. Then they can start piling on intricacies. But they've done that with every TV show.
Yeah.
Every TV show always starts with your basic episode, so you know what happens, and then they start adding the extra plot layers.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I always work by a rule like if you haven't got into a show by the end of the 3rd episode, it's like you're not.
But
are
you thinking? You're thinking modern, series based, current.
Oh, I don't know. I've been into anime since what, the 90s. So it's. I think this is one of those things where if we weren't reviewing it, I'd have got as far as episode 3, and then I'd be like, oh, maybe one more episode. But then, like, episode 4 was pretty much the same as the first 3, and I'd have probably given up on it. But it's kind of, from the last 3 episodes, it's kind of like it piqued my interest again. It's like maybe there is a little bit more to this than I thought there was.
Because I'm going to say, given that example, you wouldn't have watched Tales from the Unexpected when it came on.
I love Tales from the Unexpected.
But that was exactly the same format. Like, everything was resolved in one episode. They're all self-contained. There was no
it's not the fact that
thing.
It's not the fact that everything's resolved in the same episode. It's just like that in the first 4 episodes of this, there is so much in the episodes that is the same. It's like it's like the introduction is the same. The plot is different, but it's like everything that comes after the plot is it's like it's like the wagon with the burning wheels, the scene where I get dressed, the chase scene, everything is pretty much the same.
Yeah, which I get, like I said, it's a setup to let people know what it's about, and then we're now seeing it.
But
there's a little bit more. They're twisting it a bit.
Yeah, that's just it. You get to episode 5. Episode 5 does it slightly differently. And then episode 6 does it 7 does it differently. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 creates the best episode I've watched so far. They're starting like it's like the scenes that you've been seeing are like the scenes that have been repeating during the first few have started to disappear.
Yeah, because they've done their job. You know the universe you're watching. So it's done. Like I said, it's done what it needs to do. Now we can sort of go into what if this happens? What if that? And it sort of teases you almost that point, but it's not quite ready, which makes sense as well. You don't want to blow it all too early. You have nothing left then. Sweet Girl or Sweet Trap was a good one.
Yes,
you can kind of see the way it was going.
I'm different take. It's all her fault.
If she had she was naivety.
Yeah, that's just it. It
was
like
pure naivety.
Two girls opening up a patisserie. One of them in an offer of showing thanks to another patissier who's helped them. One whose name is known. Yeah, I think they both work for them. I'm not quite sure, but like he's famous. He appears on television. His name's known citywide. It's like we've come to bring you some of the things that we're going to be selling in our shop to say thank you. And the moment they did that, I was like, I know exactly where this one's going.
Chefs are like that.
They are, yeah.
They're the most bitchiest bunch of bitches you'll ever meet. all they're doing is slagging each other off, and all once
Yeah.
again, it's all this scrambling to be the top, and even at their top, they're not freaking happy. And TV chefs, fuck that. Oh god, that's
Even worse.
even worse.
Do I have to mention the name of Anthony Wall Thompson?
Oh god, I can't stand him. I can't stand any of them, to be honest. None of them inspire me. They actually put you off. But yeah, it's two sisters. They always had the dream because it was their father's dream to open their own place.
I think that's what makes it worse. The fact that the two girls, the fact their father's passed away and they're just kind of like fulfilling his dream for him.
But they're honoring him. But obviously, they're invested as well in what they do. The older sister is anyway. But we're also starting to see now, like Hajime, he's following on the trail. He's trying to find out.
Yeah. He appeared in the last episode with his daughter, who apparently see Hellgirl.
Yep. But Hajime, he's a bit of a despicable character. But even he's having a redemption arc himself. Because he gets opened up to this world. But yeah, Murasaki, he's an absolute scumbag.
He is. I mean, he nicks the recipe. He's arranged for the two girls to be on this television program that he's on
To humiliate them.
Yeah, but before it gets to their spot, he unveils his fantastic new dessert, which is the one that he's ripped off of them.
But purely to destroy them.
Yeah, and then
because he's higher up the social pecking order, he's the one that gets believed.
Yeah, because when he brings out this new recipe and they've got this exactly the same, oh my god, they must have copied him.
But because I think it was the other girl, the younger sister, hadn't worked for him, but the older one had. She was his understudy. And he was annoyed. First of all, he saw it as a betrayal that she had left him.
Oh, hang on. Didn't he love her, but she turned him down?
Yeah, that as well. That came out later. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. Like he just feels betrayed, so therefore he must destroy her. See, that's where the Japanese honor system is a bit, like anything, once it's taken the extreme, never leads to anywhere good.
It's not quite as bad as it was. At least you don't have to fall on your sword if you make a mistake now.
Oh, I suppose that's true. They're learning.
Well, yeah, I liked the chase scene in this one because everybody just kind of like exploded into.
It reminded me of the stuff.
God, I hope it was green.
You could have taken that any way you wanted.
There were several ways to take that one. I mean, if beer had been involved, oh dear. But yeah, it's just kind of it just gets I think this is another one of the ones where it's like when you see the two sisters at the end of it, it's like it's another one of those where it's like my sisters, we're still going to try, we're still going to open up this patisserie. I've done the right thing.
Yeah, basically another self-sacrifice for her sister, but they're like the whole debt thing and all as well. Like they borrowed money to set up a store and they got the debt recalled and just like you've no sympathy for Murasaki whatsoever.
No, he's just an asshole.
And yeah, once again, he doesn't no sense of redemption. It's that self-entitlement sort of I belong, no one can steal my throne, or nobody can betray me, I can have whatever I want.
Yeah. It's pretty much a common occurrence in every single one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
it's like the veterinarian, complete knobhead. The boss from Tall Tower, what a
She was
bitch.
evil.
Early afternoon window, just as bad.
Hmm.
Cracked mask. Damn, I love that one. I love the twist at the end of it. But yeah, same kind of person. Silent Friends. Yep.
Yep, that was our doggy one. Oh, so no, Silent Cries, Silent Friends. Yep, that's
Yeah, Silent Friends is the one where you get introduced to Tsumugi.
yep, Sumugi and Hajime. Yep. This next one's weird. Friend. She
Hmm.
is a creepy girl.
Which one, Minami or Shiori?
Minami. Minami is proper disturbing. She's the sort of person that you would initially take
Hmm.
pity on and then realize, oh shit, this person's latched onto me.
I wonder if that's what happened. I actually wonder if that's what happened between the two. Because it's like Minami arrives at school, she doesn't know any, she makes a friend in Shiori. And then it's like they're friends, they do everything together, they go everywhere together, they laugh, they joke. Then one day, Shiori has new friends and she doesn't want to know Minami anymore.
Hmm.
So what is Minami's response to this? She stalks her.
Like proper creepy.
And she reminds me. There's another horror anime out there called Serial Experiments Lane. She reminds me of Lane, the main character after that, who is just like creepy from the way she looks.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand being socially awkward, etc. But you have to have issues.
God, she has definitely. We don't really learn much of Minami's past, do we?
No.
But it's like the fact that her friend making new friends and not want to be friends with her anymore actually allows
But
her to pull a curse out of hell.
that's a school
Is
kid thing
is
anyway.
is saying something. I've got to say, cursing people and things like that is definitely a school kid kind of thing.
Yeah. Like everything, that age, hormones are running rampant.
As is
Messes with your synapses.
as is
People
like,
want to be in the popular group, and there's only so many spots. You know, it's
hmm,
yeah. I think it just once again it's all taken the extreme, but the fact that Shiori, you don't get why she deserves this at the start.
not until the end. But yeah, it is a bit.
But this is where Wanudu, we find out that he
This is the point where you realize that when you do is the guy who does all the work and he gets all the worst jobs.
has to be the carriage
Mm.
to transport Hell Girl when the curse is released, but he's the one that becomes the doll.
And he ends up being nailed to a tree.
Because Shuri finds out about the curse,
Hmm.
goes to the shrine, and she read it wrong, so she thinks kneeling at the tree will cancel the curse.
The question is, if she'd have pulled the string on the doll, would it have got rid of Minami?
But this is the question because it kind of happens.
Because it's like because from what's it from Cracked Mask, like I say, Cracked Mask, it's almost as if the doll itself is just a loaded gun,
Mhm.
and anyone who has grievance on against anyone else can like aim the curse at them just by pulling the thread. It doesn't have to be the person who actually obtained the doll in the
Or do you
first
have to
place.
be connected?
I have no idea. I want more.
These are
I
things that,
want more answers.
yeah, but these are the things that would need to gradually
Hmm.
get explained, or in a scenario which the fact that it's got 4 seasons of this, I think it does explore, but it doesn't seem to be in a hurry to,
Hmm.
which makes sense too.
I don't mind that. I don't mind it when a story takes its time to explain something, unless it's Lord of the Rings, which
Mhm.
should really hurry up.
6 chapters from him getting to the top of the hill, to the bottom, before meeting Smeagol. That's the bit that broke me in the Two Towers. It's like,
So this is Aragorn. His dad was, and his granddad was. It's like,
no, I'm just talking about Frodo and
tell us
Sam.
about Aragorn.
It's like 4 chapters for them to get to the top of a mountain, and before they actually reach Mordor. It's 4 chapters of them just going down this hill
I've
and
got
meeting Smeagol at the bottom.
my copy of the Lord of the Rings is full of post-it notes. So if I want to, I can just actually skip through to the story bits that actually tell you what's going on. With
I always
those,
suggest
the
that
Lord of the
people-
Rings, with those, with bookmarks and just reading the bits that actually advance the story, you
Yeah.
can read the Lord of the Rings in a day.
I always say, people, if you're not too sure about Lord of the Rings, read it first, ignore the songs. Leave it a month, go back, read the songs only. Leave it about a month or 2, and then go back and do the whole thing. And it'll sort of slot in there.
It took me. First time I read the Lord of the Rings, it took me like 3 years to read it.
I crammed it, but the
'Cause
problem is I speed read, I skim, and I don't take information in.
It's one of those books I just had to keep putting down and walking away and reading something else or doing something else.
It's a purely academic. It's an academical piece.
I am one of these people who doesn't think Tolkien was a very good writer. He was a brilliant professor. The bits, the appendices in the back of the book that teach you about language, proves that, because he was a professor of language.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the best book he ever wrote was The Hobbit.
That was the first book that got me into fantasy in the first place.
Yeah,
Primary school. £1.50.
Wow, here we are. This is a tangent back to you. Tangenting back to Young Flea. Sorry about this. When I was at infant school, primary school. When I was at primary school, in the final year I was there, we were in the headmaster's class. The headmaster was the teacher. If you finished your work early enough, he would let you put everything away, and then he would read to the class. And the first book he read to us was The Hobbit.
Yeah,
because I borrowed it off him and binged it over a weekend.
It was one of them books. Our teacher, we did it where we all got a copy.
Mm.
We bought it. It was like what do you call that? Book club or something?
Yeah.
So we all bought a copy of the book, and then we took turns to read through a passage or 2 each. Around the class. That's how we did it. But that was one of them books where I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad I had it, and that started me down a whole path.
I read The Hobbit, then discovered Dungeons and Dragons.
See, I didn't discover Dungeons and Dragons the way after. It was Vampire the Masquerade brought me in. That Dungeons and Dragons was not even a thing in my radar. It was that basic game that's a bit like a tabletop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't until I was actually finished in secondary school and went to college that I was travel board in the city centre and happened to peruse the local games workshop. That got me interested, realized that all that stuff was out there, because my primary school was shit. They're all hood rats. Like everyone, basically, their career was the paramilitaries. That's where they were going.
Wow.
My secondary school wasn't much better. Like, you're just, if you weren't into football, and that was it. Even like in movies, put me slightly outside.
Wow.
It was that basic, freaking rave music and football. That was it. That was your only 2 interests you were allowed.
Wow, I discovered Dungeons and Dragons. Then there was a guy at secondary school, Mark Lowe. I have no idea where he is now. He introduced me to Traveller.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Traveller, I started playing Call of Cthulhu. I've been playing Call of Cthulhu for like 40 years. God, I feel old. Oh well.
Yeah. But it was The Hobbit.
Yeah.
That's Hobbit's a gateway drug, and the
Hobbit, The Hobbit, and copious fighting fantasy books.
Mm-hmm.
led to me being a role player.
Well, the Choose Your Own Adventure, they got me. I was aware of them first before Dungeons and Dragons.
Steve Jackson's got a lot to answer for. Andy and Livingston.
But yeah, this episode's really strange, and then we've got Hajime involved as well. He's now got the bit between his teeth.
Yeah,
He's wanting to solve this mystery, and he's still doing his job, but we're seeing his job starting to suffer.
his job. I'm going to say, I actually think that, like, as a reporter, he's unemployed. His job seems to be taking like sleaze shots of people and then blackmailing them for money.
Yeah, but no, he's meant their assignments for the newspaper, but he took a sideline of some of the more lucrative ones. So he was given the targets basically a chance to look. You pay me money, or this goes in the editorial next day. And for some reason, he was able to find a balance. But when he starts looking for Hell Girl, he doesn't even care about it anymore. He's not even chasing the clients. So there seemed to be a happy balance between him taking some bribes, and the thing didn't go ahead, but he did enough that he was still well regarded in the newspaper.
I feel sorry for that poor girl. Fancy having an air quotes dad like that.
Well, when he's like, drink your milk so your boobs get bigger, you're like,
it's like
okay.
sharing milk by drinking it out the same carton.
Oh yeah, that's rats. That is just.
But I have to say that is a common urban myth in Japan that if girls drink lots of milk, their boobs will get bigger.
Because their mammary glands, that's where milk comes in. Yeah,
I haven't got the foggiest idea.
Yeah, that's true, Chris.
Surely they'd be drinking oat milk because of all the estrogen that's supposed to be in it.
Oat milk's horrible. It's oat juice. It's not oat milk.
John drinks oat milk because he's lactose. Like, he's lactose intolerant for everything apart from cheese. I don't know how it works.
It doesn't. It's bullshit.
I have no idea how it works. But it's true. If he drinks milk, he gets awful like stomach cramps. But cheese doesn't affect him.
No, I'm not a big fan of milk. It bloats me.
I could drink milk out of a tap. I really could. I love milk.
The problem is, with me with milk, if it's anyway goes sour, that's me. But and you know why sometimes it stays in there, like even for cereal, and it goes out, you forget it, or it just turns randomly, and you've no reason why.
You go to pour it out into a cup of tea, and it just comes out as a lump.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like, no, that's it. Cover tea down. It's like
fucking cup bleached out and everything. I'm just like, no.
That's it. Throw that one. Get the new mug out. Yeah, but I always make sure to drink milk quick. I don't have milk in tea. I don't know why. I don't have sugar in tea because of blood sugar levels. I don't have sugar in tea, but if I don't have sugar in tea, I can't drink it with milk.
No, mine is black as my soul.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the
number 7. Carry on.
Sorry about all the tangents.
Do you know what? These would be, if it wasn't for the tangents, these would be like 15-minute streams.
I'll try not to do any tangents next time.
But here, mate. This is this entire channel, though.
Tangents.
We've kind of built a reputation over the 5 years.
But it's kind of like it's the bit where I think it's kind of like Minami is weird, Minami is twisted, Minami is like really, really angry just because their friend made new friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get it just basically slams it into your face that Shiori is exactly the same.
Yeah. Because the same thing happens to her.
Yeah, because it's like they're going on a school trip and they're going dang it. They're going on a school trip, they're going to be in groups of 3. So it's like everybody work themselves into groups of 3, and the 3 girls she's been friend with are going in a group. And it's like, oh no, we said before that we were going in a group. You need to go in another group. So who does she call? Yes, it's not Ghostbusters.
No.
So she calls Minami, and Minami's like, oh my god, yes, Shiori, I'll be your friend. Yes, I will.
Yeah, and then this is where it gets.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened in the next scene. I watched it back twice. I've watched the damn thing twice, and I'm still like,
they get into a fight. Shuri kind of goes, "I'm only with you because blah blah blah" or something. Like really shows herself to be a bitch.
Yeah.
Then they have the fight over the doll. And we don't know who undoes the ribbon.
I was going to say the thread gets pulled, but they've both got hold of the doll. They've both got hold of the string,
And they're both
like
cursing each other at
yanking
that
it
moment.
about. Yeah. Meanwhile, Hajime has seen them fight, has recognized the girl, has recognized Shiori as the girl, what a girl she saw holding one of these dolls, and he's chasing after them to try and find them.
And he just misses it.
He just misses it. Shiori is gone, and Minami is there on her knees crying. Oh, bloody weird ending. I mean, I've been watching anime for almost as long as I've been role playing, and it's like even I thought that was a weird ending.
But once again, you can't complain about every episode being carbon copy of each other, and then when they do stuff like this,
it's just the first 4 that were carbon copies of each other.
But there's no exposition, which is I don't mind. There's this expectation of today that you get everything explained to you. And yeah, I'm scratching my head, but I was interested. I wasn't bored. I wasn't disappointed.
If everything is explained, it doesn't leave anywhere for your imagination to go.
Which is back to the original first tangent, is where society is today. They're lacking imagination. Yeah. They're told how to create. They're even using AI as a crutch. They don't even think through themselves.
I hate the fact that people are using AI to come up with plot ideas for things. There's an AI designed anime coming out soon, but the guy who's done it has stated it's just an experiment. But it's like things like, I've got this amazing idea for a role-playing adventure. I got it from ChatGPT. So why aren't you capable of coming up with anything yourself? It's like,
yeah, do it yourself. Doesn't have to be. But this back to this expectation. If it's not world breaking, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
People aren't being given a chance to grow. This is what you will imagine. This is what you will think. And we're seeing society down right on its arse in front of us. Like I said, I'm actually seeing it with like kids of 17, 18. They cannot function. They've nothing. It's tragic. But like I said, I'd rather have an ending like this and just no wonder, nothing left for me to wonder about or think. Like this keeps this series in my head.
Yeah.
Because I wonder what happened. Something's happened, but we don't know.
We will never know what, unless it's explained to us in one of the other 3 series.
Yeah, and that's
or if it's covered. Oh, is there a manga of this? There is a manga of this. If it's covered in the manga of this, which I've never read.
Once again, it's not 100% necessary. Like they can leave little threads of mystery, and we're invested. We're going, well, what happens if this happens or that? That shows you care about what's being put in front of you. When you're just like meh, and you don't care, that's the thing's lost you. Torn threads. This is the one with his boss, isn't it?
This is the one with
this is the one with
the newspaper editor.
Hajime's actually left the newspaper at this point.
This is the one with the guy who's like the guy who's responsible for like blabbing something about his father, and it being put in the paper and it destroying his family name.
Oh, and he's trying to borrow money from his friends. Yeah, he's trying
to borrow money from his friends, and he's trying to get back at this guy who's basically like destroyed his. It's not destroyed his family. It's just destroyed his family name. It's an honor thing again.
Yeah, but they did it. It's not like it was fabricated.
Yeah,
they actually did the thing. It was just
everything is true, but it's just something that this kid either said like why he was high on drugs or why he was drunk. He said things, but it's like the newspaper has printed things about. It's not the thing that they printed things about the family that aren't true. It's they printed things about the guy, the kid. They printed things about the son that aren't true. It's like they make the son out to be a junkie, and he's not. He says he's not.
But
So it's more to do with
because he
his
says he's
anger.
not doesn't mean he isn't,
Yeah,
because that's the first
it's
thing a junkie would
right.
say.
It's more to do with. It seems to be more to do with his anger
Yeah.
than anger over what's happened to his family name.
Yeah, well, basically his father's a political person. So because he brought shame onto his father lost his position.
Yeah, to be quite
And he's
honest,
angry because they've lost everything.
to be quite honest, politics, he deserves everything he gets.
Absolutely. It's fucking bunch of rats. Don't care who said it is, they're all scumbags. They're freaking the worst people. The people that get into it shouldn't be the ones that get into it, if that makes sense.
This
But
is
they're the only
true.
people that want to do it, because anybody with a modicum of sense is like, I'm going nowhere near that.
Yeah, but it's like, oh god, this I've got to be honest, this one annoyed me. It's like the son, the way it's like people try to talk some sentence and he's like, no, 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 no. It's just I'm like, oh, for God's sake. He reminded me of that stuff. He reminded me of someone I know, and I just wanted to punch him in the face.
Yeah. But then we get this sort of twist, because Hajime's obviously fallen through, but then Inagaki is Hajime's old boss, and now he's trying to force his hand.
I like the way you put that. It's the Japanese version of Piers Morgan.
It just reminds
It's
me
like,
of him.
I hadn't thought of it that way, but now you said it. Yeah,
Absolute weasel.
He's not. He's not. He's not right. What's the phrase? He's not afraid of letting the truth get in the way of a good story.
No. And he's no moral. He'll change when the wind changes.
Yeah.
Much like Mr. Morgan.
Yeah.
No, and I remember 2004 Mr. Morgan's story that he posted, which was complete fake. I remember the extra mortars that came in Basra because of his fake story.
Oof.
Wasn't even, and when you looked at it, it was staged as fuck. You could tell. I'm finding the two lads that did it, took the photographs, got tracked down. There were two scousers, just fucking absolute dickheads.
Idiot.
Thought it was funny. But meanwhile, there's fucking rats in the cities and things people getting set on fire and all sorts of shit.
Wow.
I think that directly related to fuck, what do you call him? Guy got the VC at the time.
Oh, the
Johnson Bahari.
I was gonna say the
PWRR guys. They got fucking
the coloured chap. Yeah.
It's from great. Right. The PWRR were like right up in we were okay. We were in Basra City itself. So we were just quelling some of the things. But I mean, that week, fucking after that shitty article has come out, I'd never forgive him for that.
I don't think
But those guys got absolutely pasted because they were up in a dodgy place called Simic House.
Yeah.
And those lads were getting fucking hammered on a daily basis. And that was round about that time that article came out that everything just got ramped up. And of course, terrorists love that because when there's civil unrest, they can move about, and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And that there's a whole chain of events, and he's still unapologetic for that.
I don't think people realise just what a potent weapon the news is. True or lies, I do not think people understand.
People can live and like I grew up with it. People lived and died on news articles because like back in Belfast, growing up in the 80s, a particular news article came out and if it riled people up the right way, guess what? People got shot. And that was the end result. The fucking guns went off, bombs went off. Just over a news article. It was freaking. I've always known that about the media.
Good riddance to the Troubles.
Well, it's still not ended. People think it's over, but it's more. There's more peace walls went up after the ceasefire. There's more bombs and petrol. It's all done quietly and kept. And once again, the media don't want you to know that. They want to keep it safe. But there's freaking people still going on the background, and it's a culture war now as well. There's no peace. But because it doesn't fit what they're telling, that they just let it go. So, once again, the media only tell you what you want you to know. And if it suits a certain things, I don't understand people reading a newspaper or watching a news channel today and actually getting emotionally involved in what's being spouted. Makes no sense.
Also,
It doesn't matter what side or anything else. If you are getting your news from a modern outlet and you're emotionally involved in whatever it says, you're an idiot.
No,
Because you're getting your strings pulled.
if you want to see the news today, you've got to go for you've got to cover it from every angle.
You've got to watch
you've got
20 different YouTube channels.
You've got to have
news
like
sources.
you need news outlets from like pretty much every corner of the globe to understand what's going on, because you need to read what they're writing, and then you need to read what they're putting out, and then fill in the gaps as best you can.
Well, I was told when I was studying history, you need a minimum 2 pieces of evidence from opposing factions.
Yep.
You needed 2 pieces of evidence, and then you tied up the right bits and wrong bits. But today you need at least 10. 2 doesn't cover it. You need it from, like you said, if you want to know what's going on, you need to really delve into, and then you have to like proper put your tinfoil hat on and understand what's going on. It's fucking. And most of us just don't have the time or the inkling, or that could be your full-time job. So the only thing I say is, if the media is telling you to get angry about something, fucking don't.
Yeah.
Honestly, if the media, it doesn't matter what side, or if you agree with them, or if it's confirmation bias, whatever they're saying, what you think that, or you think they believe what you believe, whatever that might be. If they're telling you to get angry, don't. Step back. Just fucking step back and switch off your device. Stay off. Don't go to the chat forums. Don't go to whatever. Just stay away.
I'm too tired to get angry over the news, to be quite honest.
Yeah. But there's people legit, somebody we know as well, fucking lately posting like a lunatic. We'll talk about that offline. Like, posting like a proper madman, and I'm like, okay, mate, you're coming across quite unhinged.
It's news.
You stay away. You just pinch of salt. Fucking just stay away from it. Don't get emotionally involved. Don't. You're getting your strings pulled. Either way. And that's what this guy Inagaki, that's what he's all about. He's all about that. That's what his whole paper's based on.
He's the Japanese equivalent of Rupert Murdoch. There's a name from the past.
Yeah. Any of them?
Yeah.
Any of them? Any name from the media?
You get the feeling that the tablet he works, the paper he works for, it's not a broadsheet.
No.
It's definitely quite. It's definitely like
tabloid.
Oh God, thank you.
But back in the day, there used to be a difference between the broadsheets and the tabloid. Today, there isn't. That's the problem.
Well,
you can't trust any of them. There's no difference between the
broadsheets. That's about it.
It's all clickbait shite. Everything's clickbait.
I was earlier today, after we finished eating, I was like scrolling through my phone, and what was it? There was this really, really bad clickbait article from the Financial Times. And I'm like, what? Really? It was something to do with computer game. It was something to do with EA.
Oh, sure. The one going on about at the moment, which I'm not clicking on, is the Amazon Kindle thing.
Oh God.
You're going to lose your entire library. Do these 3 things. Fucking no. And you see when you start to see exactly the same title appearing, when somebody's like, do these 3 things, learn this thing now, click on me, basically. Don't do it.
No, not doing it. The only thing I've actually got, the only book I've actually got on my tablet is Vampire Hunter D, and I haven't even finished reading that yet.
We're still waiting.
It's like I started to gnaw my leg off, and I thought, no, I'll stop. I'll let you know what it's like when I finish it, if I ever finish it. When I get around to it, I might leave it to someone in me. I'll leave it to you in me. Well, it'll be fine.
I started reading a bit forward with Murika-san, but I need to go back because, God, what chapter?
I enjoyed. I want more of. I want more of that.
Yeah, I think it's like chapter 26.
Wow. I need more. There's like 63 chapters or something. Yeah. I need more of it. I need more of that. But anyway, yeah. One Udo. I think he is. I think when he becomes the doll, he is the doll until the thread is pulled.
He's kind of stuck
Because
there, isn't he?
because it's kind of like he has a really bad job because he's stuck in this straw doll until the thread gets pulled. Then he has to go rushing back to wherever I is
To give her a lift.
to turn into a cart.
Even though she can transport herself quite easily between the realms, because she's the one that transports herself to meet the person that makes the request.
I've got to be. She looks like a girl who needs a good meal, a good sleep, and a laugh.
Yeah. She needs a request of come have tea with me. Take a load off for the night.
It's like we haven't discussed A yet. She looks about 10. I'm going to say.
But she's immortal, so she's not 10.
She's immortal, so she's not. That leads into a whole different kettle of worms. But it's like she's an immortal being. She looks about 10. She lives with a grandma. She normally dresses as a middle school student, which is why I say she's like 10, 11, 10, maybe 11. Unless she's on official duties, in which case she dresses up like
like a geisha girl, not quite geisha, but
she dresses like a Hina doll, which is like a porcelain doll that you use for display. She's got one of the most classic Japanese hair. She's got this really, really long pump water straight hair, cut princess style, straight across the forehead, step down where the ears are, then step down again. Like I say, she looks like a China doll. How powerful is she? We haven't found out yet, but she can take you to hell.
And it's not something she relishes. It's just she performs a function, and it seems to be she's destined by the universe. We've got the other two who just seem to be loving life or loving their existence. They're the playthings.
Yeah,
they're the ones that have fun with the intended.
They get one Udo who gets all the crap jobs.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest, I can emphasize with one Udo. It's like if I knew one Udo in real life, he'd be a bloke to take out for a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the kind of bloke who looks like he could do with a beer and a moment, but then again, he's always smiling.
Yeah, he enjoys his bed, and even when he was nailed to a tree, he's like, I suppose I'll hang out here then, and just that's the way it is.
It's like, oh no, I'm stuck here and I can't do anything else. Damn.
And he loves being the carriage. That's when he's almost ecstatic.
Okay, so that's why is that why he's like,
here we go.
That carriage, honestly. I'd love to find out more about that carriage as well.
It's all metaphor. It's all metaphor for religious. This is based on religion. It's based in Shintoism.
I'm gonna say it'll be there some. It'll be there somewhere.
If there's any theologists watching, which I very much doubt,
it's the thing
who happen to understand
the thing
religion.
I think it's Shinto is because of the fact she's always bathing.
But like you said, there's the shrine. I can't remember the name of the temple, but the little they can be set up anywhere. Those shrines. They can be different sizes as well. But yeah, it's very heavily. There'll be like I said, if you're immersed in it, you'd understand what it's from.
A lot of horror anime have like religion, like Japanese religion is a big standpoint.
But that's the same as traditional Western horror.
Carrie.
Do you know what I mean? It's that's the whole thing. It's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? If as long as it tells good stories, crack on. Don't get offended by it. Not that anything me. I like hearing other cultures, their stories. The ones that are a problem are that don't have stories, and we don't hear them. That's where we have problems. If you've noticed, the more aggressive ones don't have their own stories, their own cultural history. That's why they're angry.
Yeah.
They don't you know what I mean? Once again, it's down to lack of imagination. You don't have an imagination. If you don't have that cultivated at an early age, you're doomed. You truly are, and that's just the function in life. Not everybody has to be an artist or a creator, but you need a functioning imagination just to, oh, this part A doesn't slip into part B. How can I get around this? You know what I mean? Problem solving. But you have to have an active imagination. You need that cultivated, and it needs to be cultivated early.
I actually say, it's like my imagination got kick-started when I was really, really young in school, but these days it's kind of like it's more of a, it seems to be more conforming. It seems to be like get the lessons done, get everything taught. There's less time for play, there's less time for reading. There's just less time for that because it's like they've got to get people ready for when they're adults so they can go out there and be productive members of the world.
But people aren't being productive. That's having the opposite effect.
That's just,
It's having the it is. You're saying kids aren't. You don't become an adult till you're 30. Really, you become a young adult when you're about 25. That's when your brain finishes developing. But you're not a fully functioning adult until you're 30.
Hang on, I'm 54 this year. I've never been a fully functioning adult.
That's the joy of being a nerd, though. That's a
separate
conversation.
I'm in my room, surrounded by books and DVDs, the occasional cuddly toy. You know,
we aren't normal. You mean examples of society? That's just the way it is.
It's not a bedroom; it's a book room with a bed in it. That. There you go.
Yeah.
But no one you do's got the. Apparently, if I remember rightly, they're asking the question whether or not the son is actually like serious about sending Inagaki to hell, because it's like it's been 3 weeks since he contacted Hell-Link.
But also Hijami had got through to him as well.
That bit really bugged me at the end. The bit where it's like, whatever you do, don't pull the thread. I'll go and have a word with Inagaki. Everything's all right.
Or I'm working on my own plan to get him dealt with.
He understands me. We'll have the entire thing done. Your family will get everything back. And when he goes, like, Inagaki isn't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back to see the son, and the son is just like standing there with a red thread in his hand. And it's like, why did you pull the thread? And I can't remember the reason why.
Because they're never going to get everything back or something. He's just a pampered prince that never had to work for anything, doesn't know how to cope.
There are a lot of broken people in this, aren't there?
Is that not the theme, though?
On both sides.
Mm-hmm. But I seems to just perform a function, takes no pleasure in it, doesn't understand, or doesn't particularly side with one or the other. She provides the opportunity to step back from the brink. I was away past it. They don't listen. So that's what I mean. We need that one episode, at least, where someone does listen. So we'll see what happens.
What would you do? Just give the doll back? Or
that's what we need to find out.
Or would the doll just disappear? Does that mean that only one person can be like a customer at a time? Because there's only one.
That's what I said about the whole Wanudu transforming into the doll. It's only one at a time.
Because I remember Grandma saying something about, oh my, you are getting a lot of these messages suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
And I's kind of like,
And she's making basically a comment about society. Things are changing and people are more angry and there's no good grace anymore. That's sort of the undertone for it. People are more spiteful.
That's never changed.
No, it's the only difference is we don't line up in a big field anymore with muskets.
No, that's true.
Don't rampage through villages anymore, but it's all done. Nothing's changed in human nature. It's just done a different way.
Would be better if we still rampaged through villages. But yeah, that's. Yeah, I wasn't sure how to feel at the end of Torn Threads.
It was a bit of I didn't feel sympathy with um the son. Didn't feel sympathy with him whatsoever.
So
Inagaki, yeah,
yeah,
like I said, no
I'm gonna
sympathy
say
for him.
there've been a few like that. There's been a few. There's been a couple where you feel sympathy for like the person who's actually like the person who's been wronged. There are a couple where you feel bad for the people who've been cursed,
Hmm.
but this one it's just kind of like
I think this is more about Hijami getting as close. I think it's more Hijami's story in this that he's getting
getting
closer.
closer. Because I know from what I've read that Hajime is like Hajime and
Yeah, because I haven't really seen her. She appears in the next one, doesn't
Tsugumi.
she? Yumiya's daughter.
They play more of a part in the second half of series one.
Which just makes sense because they're building it up.
Yeah, because it just mentions the fact that like they appeared in episode 8, and their role becomes more important as the series goes on.
Yeah, and that's I'm cool with that. Like I said, they're not rushing to have it all spelt out. It's going to take its time, and it might not even be fully. The fact that there's 4 seasons, it may
Yeah,
not be fully resolved by
it
the.
might flow. It might flow into season 2.
Which would once again make sense if that's the overarching. It's Hijami discovering this. This is the first of Hijami actually encountering somebody before and after the curse. Every time he's just got that wee bit too late.
He's always missed it, yes.
Yep,
But
but this time he
this
actually
time he's
met.
actually someone before.
Yep, and he's seen them with the doll. He knows how it works now. And even though he's entreated, it's happened. And if you think of the intro, this about people billowing on the strings of fate, etc. It's almost as if it's fated to happen. It's going to happen. It's part of the universe. It's part of the plan. And these people are destined to run into each other and wrong each other and curse each other. It's almost as if it's all part of a design. I need to get that again. The intro, like the intro is very simple to these.
I like the intro. Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure I've seen that painting they're using it somewhere before,
Yeah, it's
though, and it's
proper
bugging me.
traditional.
It's bugging me.
What do you call that? The Japanese guitar, the traditional guitar they use, and it's proper stripped down. It's not your usual anime with over the top music and intro. It's just a few sentences. Actually, it's very similar to Elfen Lied. When you think of the sort of religious overtones in Elfen Lied of the intro, just that's a bit more flowery about it. But this is just very stripped down, very Japanese. Where Elfen Lied were using sort of Western monks. That sort of, fusing that into it. Well, this is just stripped. These are folk tales. These are, human stories. They're religious parables about forgiveness, essentially, and doing no harm to others and how to conduct yourself correctly in society. That's all that. How one human treats another and what the after effect is and the ripple. This is all Eastern philosophy.
The fables.
They've transported them into a modern society and used technology. Like all the computer does is it's the same as going to a shrine and burning incense and pinning your request to the board. They've just done it with a computer. It's no different. And it'll get answered or it won't.
I love the fact it's just kind of like the question, like who do you, it's like basically it's like who do you have a grievance with, and you just type their name in and put send. I like that.
Yeah. But it's once again, it's if you write somebody, if you're cursed somebody, you write their name on the papyrus or the parchment, and you either pin it to the doll or you burn it. Whatever your method of delivery is, and it only works if the person deserves it. You can be spiteful or resentful of somebody being successful, but it's not their fault. They're well, it is their fault if they're working, but if they don't deserve to be cursed, nothing happens.
Yeah, because
And the fact that there's so many messages coming in and they're not being answered,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, we saw that in The Girl from the Tall Tower,
Mhm.
where it's like it was either either grandma or one of the followers said like she's like, this girl's been sending a lot of messages in. Are you why are you ignoring them? And it's because she's sending in like messages third party.
Mhm. That's like, oh, go write this curse out for me and pin it to the shrine. Doesn't work that way. You have to own your. If you feel that aggrieved, you have to do the deed yourself. So, like I said, I just use the modern setting, but it's still a traditional. If that was a notice board, if it wasn't a computer, like everything's still the same, you could probably open a pamphlet or a scroll and see this religious carving or portrait of Anima. Like, it won't have changed for like 2,000 years. Except there's a flipping, God, what was that, Mac? Do you remember the one that was all built in before that one anyway, Mac 2 or something? You know what I mean? In the background.
It's the PC is the PC. The PC is the modern shrine that we pray to.
It used to be the television. Do you remember that used to be the thing that...
It's like, was it Freud who said that television is the opium of the people?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, religion.
Religion is the opium of the people.
Religion is the opium of the people. Thank God he never saw television. Thank God he never found out about social media.
Yeah, but it's the same.
Because if like religion is the opium of the people, then social media is the crack cocaine.
Yeah, that's the meth. It's the blue meth. It's the Walter White meth. Like, I've seen people in their 30s that if they drop their phone, they fall to pieces with it. And I'm just like, yeah, nah. I spend a lot of time obviously on the computer, or online, but I always make it one day a week. I switch off. I have to center myself.
Everyone, it's like I have my computer on every day, but I never have it on until I've finished all the things I need to do that day.
Mm-hmm. It's the same as social media. I stay off that till about tea time because I make sure I get my own stuff done.
I don't do so. I don't like. I've never done Facebook. I don't do X.
No, but I count Discord as social media.
Yeah,
and because of the podcast, I have to be on them. It's part of the thing. But I stay off it. You know,
things like Facebook and X. It's more like anti-social media these days. It's like a lot of people just seem to go online just so they can go on Facebook and hate at people.
Yeah, because they can't do it in real life, and they don't have, once again, lack of imagination. They don't know how to fix their lives. They don't know how to think their way out of whatever's annoying them. And back to do not react. If something's clickbait, don't react to it. But it'll work its way out. It'll resolve itself, but then something else will come along. Well, it'll either end in total annihilation, or there'll be like a reckoning and a course change. It's always at the point of crisis. It's the way humanity's always been. It always has to happen at the point of crisis. Nothing else gears people into action otherwise.
Depressing.
Yeah, but only if you... It's awareness. That's the worst thing. When you're aware of it, you can't be unaware. When you see it, you can't unsee it. It's like the wee girl with anime. She's seen her. Hajime has seen it. He can't unsee it.
Yeah,
and his life isn't the same.
I can't wait to see how their role in this anime gets filled out.
I am intrigued. Like I said, I've been enjoying this. I have.
It's
simple.
I think in the end, this is a prediction because I haven't seen past Overflowing Fragments. I haven't seen past episode 12. Hajime is going to meet face to face with Hellgirl. Yeah, but will it be as he's being transported to hell?
There's every possibility because he has wronged people.
Yep, I'm interested to see how
However,
it
he
ends now.
has being aware of Hellgirl. I think that's part of. If you think about it, he stopped blackmailing people the minute he became aware of Hellgirl.
He seems to be determined to write an article about her, even though he's like his mysterious adopted daughter with second sight keeps telling him not to.
And she can see. That's what I haven't covered yet. She can see the physical places.
Like, do you remember in seven? It was kind of like when he was first introduced and they were talking. He was talking about Hellgirl, and it's like, are you going to investigate her? It's like, yes. Well, you shouldn't. Why not? And she just looks at him with dead eyes and does that what's it, Ipen Shindemiru line? Like, do you want to try? Do you want to try?
Do you want to give death a try?
Yeah, do you want to give death a try? And it's like there's something going on there, and the fact that Hellgirl says that she saw someone today, someone she feels like she's known for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Is it Hellgirl's opposite? You know, I mean, there's a load of stuff, and it's probably, like I said, it's probably in some text somewhere. It's a religious piece of writing. It's a parable. It's there, and probably anybody who understands this knows exactly what it's about.
Is she someone?
Yin and yang. You know,
she knows Hellgirl. Is there a reason she knows Hellgirl? It's like, is she the opposite? Is it yin and yang? Could it be that she was the previous Hellgirl, or she's going to be a Hellgirl in the future?
Yeah, the mantle gets passed.
Yeah. I want to find out, and we've only got 12 more episodes to find out it.
Well, actually, we don't. We've got 4 seasons.
Yeah, but are we going to cover all 4 seasons?
No, well, it's going to go in the wheel.
Because it was. Oh, I didn't know the others were on the wheel. Because I thought it was like, yeah, if it's a series.
No, because I'm only putting. Because there's no point putting all 4. Because in case it brings up.
Oh yeah, in case it comes up like. And today we're going to do season 3.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm gonna.
So season 2 will be added to the list.
If you look at the message I sent you with the full thing, it's got everything on it. But what I do for the wheel is I cut off all the sequels. So, for example, when we finish this, Hellgirl 1 will disappear off the wheel. But the other season 2, the 2 mirrors will be on the wheel. And it'll just go, you know what I mean? We'll cover it.
Oh my God, it has. It's got every single bloody thing that we said we were going to look at. And without a doubt, more will be added to it as it goes on.
Suggestions in the comments as well, folks, because
if there's anyone out there with a favorite horror anime, we will add it to the list.
Yep, and get around it. I don't know. I just like doing it.
Get around to it sometime in the next 10 years, because that's how it looks. It's going.
At least we'll know we're never going to worry about material anyway. That's the thing about the horror genre anyway. There's so many different subgenres, and you never run out of material.
That's just it. It's like there are anime out there that aren't even considered as horror, which could fall into the horror category. Everything.
Horror is just a method of storytelling.
It's like everything from like the most realistic war story down to the soppiest, fluffiest romance. Every single one of them will have a horror episode.
Mm-hmm.
It signs every single one of them will have a beach episode.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of the widest genres out there. It's the most, dare I say the word, diverse in terms of material. You can laugh, cry, cringe, be sick if you want, get disturbed. You know what I mean? You can go through the whole range of emotions. It's
the only genre that they haven't tried to simplify, I think.
A24 and some studios like that have attempted to. Blumhouse.
It's kind of
Blumhouse
like
is guilty of it. Like they.
I don't want to use the W word because I hate the W word. You know, the one that ends in oak.
Yes, I
will. Yeah, I hate that
Here's
word.
The thing.
I hate that word with a vengeance.
There are movies and stuff like that out there, but there's plenty of other. The problem with other genres is it's so limited. Like, there's only so many sci-fi movies, really, before you have to watch the Sci-Fi Channel, and you hate sci-fi. Fantasy's another one, isn't it, as well? A lot of other genre, police procedurals and all, you know what I mean? You end up watching the same thing, essentially on repeat.
Yes.
It's very limited.
Yeah, but horror is kind of like it's pan genre. It's like horror can appear in any other genre, or any other genre can be turned into horror.
Yeah, that's because it's when things go wrong. It's when it crosses that line. And it's a mechanism of storytelling. The only difference is what the percentage is, which makes it a horror movie or a horror series.
Yeah,
Like definitely when you're dealing with heaven and hell, and people basically being dragged off, because while this isn't, it's all implied. Like for
yeah.
little brief moments, everyone that makes a curse tastes hell.
Yes,
So
that
it's
little
like,
moment where they fall in the pit and the
yep,
arms start reaching up, or the one that kind of shocked me was the one that's like, you'll spend the rest of your turn in hell, and she's like, and then she just bursts into fire and starts screaming.
that's horror.
That's what's going to happen to you. But it's like it doesn't imply anything that's happened like that. Like the people who are dragged off to hell, it doesn't give any indication of what happens to their family after they're dragged off, apart from what was it, Afternoon Window, where you see the women who were taking the piss out of the main character and their mother taking the piss out of the woman who's been dragged off to hell's daughter. It's kind of like the tide, the door is open, the tide has turned. It's like that's the only time you see any kind of like any of the retribution.
Yeah,
I'll
and
go with it.
Cursed Mound is the same. It
Yeah.
finally it comes out in the wash that he killed the boy, and the parents moved away, they forgave him. It stopped. You get a little glimpse, but it's not about that. It's about the decision. This is all about the person making the decision to curse them.
Yeah.
And it's now become a Jamie story of trying to uncover this and what his daughter's going to be.
I kind of hope. I'm so interested to see what happens with those two.
Oh, they've made them a central. That's going to be important. But I like the fact it's not. We're not like if this was just a 12-episode thing.
How much
and
more?
Plus, we've watched a lot of 12-episode things as well.
How much more rushed would it have been?
Oh, it'd just been boom, boom, boom.
It's I like it. I like anime because if it needs to, anime isn't scared to take longer. It's not like right then. It's not like right then. We've only got 12 episodes to start. Some of them have. Some of them they do stick it in 12 episodes, and then
it depends on the story.
On them,
every story is different. Back to what I said at the very beginning. We need different. We need the mini series. We need the mid-budget film. We need the episodal series. We need the overarching narrative series. We need that whole mix, but don't need 10 years of let's do this one thing that people get sick of it. They have 10 years of let's do the other thing. There's room to mix it up, and that'll keep things fresh. But because the people in entertainment, particularly TV, don't have a very good imagination, the ones that run the show are horrible.
Are they allowed to have good imaginations? I mean, look what happened with Doctor Who.
That was just I don't know. He lost interest in that. It just became. Do you know what got me? It was actually Matt Smith and what's his face? He played Sherlock.
Oh,
Benedict Cumberbatch. They were essentially the same series. It was the same writer, and you couldn't tell them apart. If you watched an episode of one and you watched an episode of the other, they were exactly the same.
It's like.
And that's when I sort of
the writing while Matt Smith was Doctor Who was pretty bad. I enjoyed Matt Smith as Doctor Who. I thought he was a really good doctor, but the writing let it down.
Yeah, same as Peter Capaldi.
It's like what was that comedy show that Peter Capaldi was in? I can never remember the name.
Oh, in the thick of it,
right?
Malcolm Tucker.
Right. Listen to this has got nothing to do with that.
He was not Alistair Campbell.
He
wasn't. He wasn't. It was nothing to do with Alistair Campbell at the time.
This has got nothing to do with anime. But just imagine Doctor Who as Peter Tucker as Doctor Who.
I wanted that Torchwood episode.
Either way, you shite,
would
you
have been
stupid Dalek. I mean, can you imagine it?
no.
I mean,
Do you remember Torchwood?
yes,
Right, that was the adult version. Peter
yeah,
Capaldi's Doctor would have fucking been brilliant in that.
yeah. Because I always remember that one Torchwood episode, Children of Man, the one with the
That's
aliens came down because they wanted kids because they were using them as drugs. That was so dark. That shocked me.
mhm. But that would have been perfect for the Peter Capaldi Doctor. But once again, like this guy only has Russell T Davies only one tune. It's all he knows how to
It's
play.
like right when my mum and dad let me watch Doctor Who. When the Doctor Who theme music came on, I used to run out of the room screaming. As soon as it finished, I'd run back in to watch Doctor Who. Then when the music came on at the end, I'd be off again. I used to have nightmares over Doctor Who. Doctor Who used to be horror. Doctor Who used to be properly scary.
Yeah, and then they brought him back and
And
made him
then
sexy.
they right. They brought him back. When they brought him back, it was not
Chris
Chris
Eccleston.
Thank you very much. It was Christopher Eccleston. He was really good as a Doctor. Then they brought in David Tennant, who had his moments. Then it was like, but it's like Chris. When they brought it back with Christopher Eccleston, it was still good. It was still edgy. When David Tennant took over, it felt more like a kids show.
Yeah, it was.
It's like it could.
It became a teeny bopper thing.
Yeah, they brought out the Sarah Jane Adventures, which was supposed to be the children's Doctor Who. But the writing in some of those stories was better than some of the stuff that
she
the
was
adult Doctor Who had.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But like I said, that's once again something that had imagination.
Yeah, I will grump about this. I will tangent.
No, I hear you. But here's the difference, though. I just walk away. When someone gets that, I just walk away and I don't give it another thought. There's people still complaining about it now. And I know that it's the same as the flipping was womp womp shit. All that retarded crap. I don't give a shit. And there's people still go on about it, and there's people who have entire channels to bitch about it. And you're like, just walk away. It's the same as if Amazon ruined 40K, I'm done. No interest. I'll just
if Amazon
the Black Library.
The
Black Library's already had a good job at go at it anyway. But well, it all depends on the whole Henry Cavill thing. If he actually is the super fan people say he is, or if he's just another, when it comes down to it, he'll just do what he's told.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight riding on Henry Cavill's shoulders for this.
Yeah, so
it's like this could make or break Henry Cavill's entire career.
He'll lose any credibility he has, because as a film star, he's not. He's not at top of the pecking order.
I honestly think
it's
he's
just because he's not liked. He rubs up the establishment the wrong way.
Yeah,
he's not liked. Not as ability or anything like that. It's just that he's not.
That's even more of a reason for him to be there if he rubs them up the wrong way, because we need people like that to stir the pot.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's like. Because it's like Hollywood, the filmmaking industry is so stagnant at the moment that we need someone to stir it to get a bit of air into it.
Yeah, well, it's decades of nepotism. This isn't a new thing. This has been happening. People getting the jobs just because they know someone.
Trust
me, I go on about this all the time when we're talking about movies and stuff.
Back to the subject we're supposed to be talking about. Like in anime, the same thing is true in anime. But the thing is, in anime, they have massive, weekly, monthly, yearly polls in Japan. Like, which anime did you watch? Which one impressed you? Which one would you like to see more of? And if you don't make the grade, it doesn't matter how chummy you are with the lovers, you won't see the light of day again.
And we've seen that with some of the series we've covered.
Yeah, there have been some really, really good series, some of which we've covered that have just disappeared after one series.
I never said
they
this.
Didn't make the cut.
But I put it in the notes. This is what the Pet Shop of Horrors should have been.
Yeah, if Pet Shop of Horrors had been more like this, Pet Shop of Horrors would have had more than one series.
The fact this has four
more than one set of OVAs put out for it.
Yeah, where this is 4 sets of 24 episodes.
Yeah.
I think that says it all. I think people are more forgiving to their printed anime.
Yeah.
It can be as weird as you want, which is
Yeah. I kind of wish like real life action, like movies and things like that were like that, where it's like, because it's like, how many people watch this? Nothing. The movie didn't even make enough money to pay for it, to pay for the fact it was made. What does Hollywood do? Fine, then we'll make another one.
Yeah, but
because it's what's happened with
But
Marvel.
once again,
It's what's happened with Star Wars.
Yeah. But then another things, I'll bring up Dread as an example.
Yeah.
The 2012 one was a brilliant movie.
Yes, the one with Carl Urban. Yeah, it was absolutely, that was Judge Dredd. That was Mega City 1.
And the only time they used 3D properly.
I went to see it in 3D. It was really good.
I went to see it for the slow-mo scenes
as well. Yeah.
Brilliant.
The bit where the bit where they took Mama off the top of peach trees in 3D made me feel a bit ill because I'm not that good with heights. But there you go.
But it worked. They used it right.
It worked. It worked so well.
Never saw the light of day.
Yeah, they'd already decided by the time they finished filming it that they weren't going to make a sequel.
Yeah. What a waste. But that's, it's
what a loss.
But that's the way that industry works. They're so limited. They'll pump money into shite. But look at anime is a good example because we're seeing this right now. The whole thing with the localizers.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I refuse. First of all, you don't get the right tone.
Yeah, it's kind of. I've got to be honest, but I'll be like, what localizers?
Yeah, they're gone now.
Instead of using people as localizers, they're talking about using AI.
And that's because
one of the few cases of AI, because AI will not change things to suit like AI does not have an agenda.
No, it's literal. It's
so
borderline. It's autistic. It's like an autistic person.
Yeah. So
they'll just focus on that's what I'll do.
So when they translate the anime from Japanese into English, it will translate it straight out what is being said. It will not try to put any of it cannot put its own personal agenda in there.
No, but even I don't want to hear everything in a Southern Californian accent. And for example, when they talk about states, etc., where it's not as prefectures in Japan,
it is,
and there is an English translation, but they put it in Dumyankistani and they make it all about them, so it suits their audience instead of making it about the region.
It's like pot stickers. And it's like you're listening, and they say it's like oh, we're having gyoza for tea. It's like bang wa gyoza desu, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but just say, you smell like dumplings,
it's like I'm like gyoza. I'm like gyoza. I know what gyoza is, but what the hell is a pot sticker? Same thing. It's just the American name for it.
Yeah, that's they don't translate in the English. They translate in the Dumyankistani, which annoys me. So if that's gone, but there's an example of at least anime having some integrity. They realize it's happening. They're like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah, there is.
You're done. End off.
It's like DEI and its ilk are dying out very quickly in Japan. Square Enix, the guys behind all the Final Fantasy series, have been found to use DEI. The first thing happened is the shareholders and the various directors held a massive meeting to find out just why they were using them.
That doesn't help. It doesn't make people. It actually divides people. It doesn't bring people together.
I mean, I've got like I am all. I don't think it's fair when groups get left out of things. Yeah.
But if you're talking about a culture and things based on a culture, talk about that culture.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard towards. I don't like it when groups are left out of things. But I don't like it when groups feel the need to force themselves into something. The new Assassin's Creed game that's coming out is an example. Yeah, apparently EA is changing everything. The Black Samurai Yasuke,
who wasn't actually a samurai, he was a retainer.
He was
but they were not desperate just to it's like
he was what he if you read the few books he appears in. he wasn't a retainer. He served exactly the same purpose he did to the priest that the samurai in question brought him from. He was his slave. But you're not allowed to use the S word anymore.
It's stupidity. And once again,
Yatsuke may have eventually earned a samurai rank, but it wouldn't have been a rank that carried a sword or wore armor. It would probably have been like you say, a retainer, a courtier. There are like God knows how many different ranks of samurai, and only like 3 of them actually bear arms.
Yeah, the actual warrior. You know, I can't remember the term.
But apparently, there's a scene. You can. The big problem now with Assassin's Creed, whatever it's called, I can't remember the name of it. With that Assassin's Creed is the fact that you can walk into shrines and smash them up,
which is stupid.
Like it is the first. Apparently, it is the first Assassin's Creed game where you can walk into a holy site and destroy it.
That is 100% communism. That's what they're all about. And I'm not even. I'm all about you do you. If whatever brings you peace or gives you a moral compass, crack on.
Yeah.
Just don't impose it me, and I won't impose my views on you. I can give my opinion on things, but at the same time, I don't expect anybody to share my values. They're mine. It's my journey. It's where I've been.
Like it's shocking. It's shocking. It's disrespectful. I mean, it's like when Yasuke starts fighting, what music does he play to, like proper like Japanese battle music? No, it's hip hop. Because you know how much black people love hip hop.
We were talking about actually. Oh,
so
right.
They're even being
racist. Shadows, yeah, that's right. Chris and I were talking about this with Leprechaun 5. And we actually got that. It was that offensive.
I haven't watched Leprechaun 5 with you. I need to watch it.
Right, right. It was actually we were talking about it. It actually got that offensive, you know, as in stereotyping people. That we went and looked up the director and actually pulled up the picture of the director and went, that tells us everything we need to know. Some posh middle class white bloke who thinks he's going to be hip, you know, and actually not understanding culture and just the caricature of what culture is.
Right. I have a friend. I've told the story a time. I have a friend called George Brown. Yeah, George Brown is my age. He's a black guy. Yeah, his family came over to England on the Empire Windrush at the end of World War II. Yeah, and his family name when they came over is something like Ungataya, something like that. It's like they went up to the bloke who would do the paperwork. He's like, name Ungatayawa. I'm sorry, Ungatayawa. From now on, your name's Brown. And his granddad is like, I know I'm an Englishman now because this man has given me an English name. And there was pride in that. And right, but the thing is, like, his last name's Brown. So what do you think his nickname was?
Whitey?
Brownie.
Brownie, okay.
Right. I got chewed out by this middle class white woman because I saw him across the marketplace in the local town and went, "Oi, Brownie!" It took him nearly 45 minutes to explain that was his name. Because she refused to believe it. He was just saying that because I was a massive bully and he felt threatened.
That's the stupid thing. Like, you could. Do you know how you could tell a bunch of squatties going out on the town? All different accents, all different creeds, and we're all mates. And we're all taking the piss out of each other. But if you started on one of us, guess what? Everyone else in the section turned around, you were getting filled in. Do you know what I mean? This was sorted out before these arseholes got involved. And that's why I hate them. It really winds me up because they're not interested. They just want to stir shit for the sake of it. But it's the same as the Satanic Panic of the 80s. That's why Christianity died. Because of those idiots. That's why nobody gives a shit about Christianity anymore. This is why nobody's going to give a shit about liberalism 10 years from now. Because these fucking dickheads just wind everybody up the wrong way.
I'll say
those of us that just get on with folks and take people as individuals will crack on.
role playing, the satanic role playing, the satanic panic. We didn't really have a satanic panic in England.
It was done through social services. It was more, maybe not so much in England, but definitely Northern Ireland and Scotland, the more entrenched religious places.
Yeah, I've got to be honest though. We did have a bit of satanic panic when the Daily Mail wrote about these foreign cartoons that were trying to like corrupt our children and teach them all about Satanism and perversion and unholy sexual Legend of the Overfeed or Sukidoji, basically, had just been released by Manga Entertainment. And some woman brought it for their 10-year-old kid because, it was a cartoon, even though it was about 18 plastered on the side of it.
I was called a devil worshipper for listening to Guns N' Roses.
I can understand that. Yeah.
The most milk toast.
It's like it.
I didn't even get into Cradle of Filth till I was like 20.
Yeah. I've got to
be honest.
The thing about the satanic panics and things like that, aren't you just glad they happened before Facebook?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine if it happened on Facebook?
Well, I know this is a massive tangent, but they're trying it again, right? So now that the woke era is coming over, right?
Yeah.
We've now got the ones on the other side are trying to say the satanic panic never happened. However, because we've been through this, they're not. Everyone's like going, "Nah, piss off."
Nah,
Or if it had been in the 80s, everyone would have had the same frothing at the mouth that they did from 2016.
Yeah. And about tangenting, haven't we been tangenting for like the last 45 minutes?
That's what we do.
It's
Welcome to the Horrific Podcast.
Coming up next, Free's recipe for blueberry pancakes.
Hold on. I've talked about the price of cans of beans.
Yeah.
And plastic bags and stuff on this channel. It just fits in.
Have you seen how much the Easter eggs are in Sainsbury's? Oh dear, dear.
Yeah,
what Easter eggs even doing that yet? We haven't had it's not Easter for another month.
But that's the joy of conversation. This is what people need to remember. We did this in the pub. We did it during the break room. We talked about movies and series, but then one part of a conversation led into another.
Yeah.
And that's how people talk to each other. And that was always the thing. Now, especially, I see the arsehole on YouTube that's trying to get monetized or stay monetized. And they're so careful with their words. And everything's the L word, the N word, the Z word, this word, and they don't speak. And they fucking dodge around. It's like, well, don't bring up the topic if you're not going to speak.
Yeah.
And
if people talk about something, they should always be prepared to answer questions.
Eggs, flour, milk, bit of baking powder if you want.
Yeah, but it's pancake.
It's not hard.
It's pancake day this Tuesday.
You don't even weigh it out. Get your bowl, dunk some flour in the bottom, crack 2 eggs, stir it up, and then add milk till you get it nice and done.
Add milk slowly. You want a consistency like single cream.
You just want it coming off the back of the spoon.
I don't think they have single cream in America though. The thin cream, not the thick stuff. The thin stuff. What's the job? What's my recipe? My recipe is
use half. America, they have half and half. Use half and half. That'll do the job for you.
Half and half is what I'm thinking. Well, half and half is our single cream, I think. What's my recipe? It's something like
if you want to go mad, add a bit of cinnamon.
I've got to be quite honest. It's like 8 ounces of flour, 4 eggs, 2 pints of milk.
If you don't want to do it by hand, get the whizzer out and just go.
Right. I always do it by hand in a big jug. I always do it first thing in the morning. Then I chuck a tea towel over the top of it, and I'll just leave it on the side, and it will sit there all day fermenting. And you just go up every so often, and you just like give it a stir through, and it takes your cream. When you fry it, don't use butter or oil. Always use lard. Because you need the high temperature so that when you you drizzle it in. And you just every so often you just give the pan a shake until the pancake comes loose itself. Then you flip it. Serve sugar, orange.
Easy.
Love pancakes.
Use half and half. Use half that. I'll translate for you. Don't worry. But I mean, this last story, this was
Here we, no, we're
this
not
is
finished
this
talking
is going to
about
be
food yet.
competing with the Alien Romulus. I think is our longest review ever on the channel for a
Well, yeah,
movie.
and
I think we're
that is a review that we talked about nothing but Alien Romulus.
every scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, this last one was a strange one.
I've got to be honest. This was my favorite.
Proper heartbreaking. Like this is tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah, I've always said, like, anime wise, I am a sucker for romance. I love romantic anime. It's like my not so secret. But I love anime in general, but my secret passion is like serious romance anime. This had all the makings of a romance in it.
Except that might have been slightly inappropriate.
Yeah, I was going to say slightly dodgy romance, but it was there. The wind up at the end was just kind of like.
Let's just say, with our teacher broadcasting house will be headhunting him.
It's like if his teacher anywhere around here, he'd probably be in the middle of the local wreck, impaled on a post. Poor Sawai.
She is catatonic.
Having a good time. I think she's suffering from like major social anxiety, which is why she's not going to school. She's been to school once, didn't like it, is now spending the rest of her time at school locked in her bedroom. As she's not going to school.
She's obviously going out to wash and stuff and getting fed, but she's like proper, has issues. Without a doubt.
I think one of those issues is the fact that her teacher is banging on her bedroom door, yelling her name at the top of his lungs for who knows how long every morning, with her mother's permission, it seems.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mum.
That's that's not on.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, teachers in Japan are kind of like ranked by their performance. So if they have a kid, if they have a child, if they have like a student who isn't going to their class, it's their problem to sort it out. It's not like in this country where the school will get in touch with like social services and send social services around. The teachers got to sort it out themselves,
which is a bit ridiculous.
It's right. A little bit more about Japanese schools, tangenting. In Japan,
I think we need context for this one, though.
Right. Here's her homeroom teacher. Yeah. So it's basically like registration and things like that.
Form teacher, basically.
Yeah, form teacher, right? In Japan, students don't go to different classrooms. The teachers come to them, unless it's a specific class like home economics, science, something like that. PE. Right, they are the only 3 classes where they actually leave their classroom. They go in the morning, sit in their seat, and apart from lunchtime, they can spend their entire day in that seat, in that classroom, with various teachers coming in and out. If a student isn't there, it is the homeroom, the form teacher's job to try and sort out why, because he's being assessed on his performance.
Okay,
it's a really weird system.
True, but do they have 40 to 50 kids in a class?
Depends on the size of the school. I mean, not like normally, you know, when you see the outside of a classroom in anime, it'll be a number, say 1-3. Yeah, that's year 1, class 3, because they tend to have unless it's like in most city schools, they tend to have, like, instead of having large classes with a large amount of kids, they'll have a large amount of classrooms with the same amount of kids in each one. It's when you get out into the sticks and places like that, you get the big classrooms, because schools are more limited.
That'll be more manageable, because honestly, imagine having like 40 kids in your class, like most schools do now, 30 to 40 kids, and being responsible for them. That's nah. I don't even like teachers, but I could understand that.
You can understand teachers are like kind of like so fraught. in that kind of situation. But yeah, it's basically they have a limited amount of kids, but it's kind of like he is the one he is getting the blame for her not being there, which is why he's trying so hard to get Sawari back in class. Basically, to get the headmaster and the other teachers off his back.
Yeah. Which makes sense. You know, it says everything about the culture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I don't. You know, I like to learn about Japanese culture. Doesn't mean I want to live there.
It's all to do with the culture to succeed. It's like he wants to be the best teacher, so he gets like the little diplomas and the medals and things to say how. So if he goes on for another job, he'll be like, "Whoa, you're an amazing teacher. Please teach at our school. Thank you very much." Everybody bows. But he's not getting that, and it's so there he is banging on the door, and Sawari hates it, but it's okay because Sawari has got one friend in this world she can talk to,
who seems to be goading her on to actually do this.
Yeah, because his friend is like, I hate school as well. It's like this and that happened. I don't know why I'm there. Do you know what? I think I might skip school tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and I didn't put two and two together.
Meanwhile, Sawari has got in touch with Hellgirl because she hates this teacher for what he's doing, and Hellgirl gives her the doll.
Yeah, and there's all sorts going on with this one. The kids did something to her. I can't remember what it was. They're just nasty wee shits.
They'll basically have picked on her. They'll have bullied her. Bullying, right.
I had a weakness. If it's it's the usual.
That's it.
Blood the water.
Yeah, but it's like I don't care what anybody says. Whatever country you're in, bullying is endemic in schools. It has to be.
It's part of childhood.
But it's not allowed to be part of childhood anymore. Mind you, no, because if children are being bullied in school, it seems to be these days what you do is you just turn the other cheek and look away.
Yeah, but that's always been the case because if you hit back, the teachers jump on you. That's happened to me in my younger days. I learned that.
Yeah. I may have given someone who was bullying me a nosebleed by headbutting him.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're the worst in the world.
I got in trouble because it actually it's like you could see the injury. So yeah. Bless children. You've got to love them in appropriate ways.
Yeah, I hate kids. I have no interest in them. Fucking.
I've got too many nephews and nieces. I love them all. But it's like day in, day out. Sawari, are you there? I just want to talk to you. Will you speak to me? I want you to come back to school. You can understand why the poor girl goes to Hellgirl.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
but she's talking to her friend, and they're talking about ruined houses and how much they'd like to go to people, and now one of them's found this empty ruined house in the middle of the city, and there's kind of like fallen angel statue and broken dolls all in the grounds of it. It's not creepy at all.
Not at all, but in the context, it's very goth. It's almost like goth type stuff.
I did kind of expect it to turn around and be wearing like black makeup.
Yeah.
But I can't.
It is. It's just changed. It's the same behavior. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what badge it wears or what the crusade is. It's human behavior. And all it does is it wears a new mask. For example, we're talking about the satanic panic. We're talking about the woke stuff. 10 years later, it'll be something else. It'll have a different name, but it'll be the same arseholes.
Yeah. It's like right.
And 10 years from that, it'll be something else.
Right.
And it'll be the exact same type of people.
No matter what people say about humanity, we are still just animals, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like if you go out there, you watch these nature programs on wolves or lions or meerkats or whatever. They are
even prairie dogs. Prairie dogs
they're always
fuck each other up,
eating the shit out of each other. to find some kind of pecking order.
Mm-hmm.
We are no different.
You put people in any sort of group, and sure enough, then for fuck's sake, we're in one of the more extreme groups, role players.
If anybody,
You'd be in a
anybody,
group of role players,
yep.
and if it's a group of 10 or more, you start to see it.
Yeah. If anybody wants me in any kind of group like that, I'll be the guy sitting behind the fridge with a book. Because leave me alone with my book. I don't care where I am in that pecking order.
But that's almost a statement in itself.
Yeah.
So you become a challenge. You know, that's the problem. By not engaging in the conversation, you become the enemy.
If anybody tries to disturb me with a book, I will stab him.
Or just use the book.
With the
pick
book,
a good book
actually.
Pick a hardback.
It's got a nice iron. What are you reading? The Bible. Fuck. But yeah, it's like there's kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna be wordy now. An aura of melancholy about this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like everyone in this one seems to be unhappy. It's like you see the teacher being like raked across the coals at school because he's not managed to get this girl back in his class. It's his fault. He's not only failing her, he's failing himself. He's failing the school as well. He looks like he absolutely hates his job. Sawari hates school because she was picked on there. She doesn't like it. She suffers from anxiety. I think she suffers from anxiety. Spends the entire day locked in her bedroom, just like talking over MSN.
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually.
Which is probably the reason why she hasn't jumped out a window.
So that's it. That's her lifeline. Her lifeline's MSN. Because she does look like the kind of girl who's going to jump through a window. Got to be honest.
One push the wrong way, and that's her. She does come back to the school.
Why does she go back to the school? Wait, hang on. Her mother knocks on the door and says, "Can I speak to you for a few minutes?" Opens the door. Mum's standing there looking really, really guilty. Teacher's standing there, and they have the conversation sitting at the kitchen table. And he says, "Just come back. It's like, even if you like it, even if you don't like it, just come back for one day."
Because even the headmaster told him, as long as she comes into school, she can sit in the nurse's office.
Sit in the nurse's office all day. It's just as long as she's there and she has her name taken, because then they can say she's there instead of being absent. It's a weird school system. It really is.
But school systems are no different. You know what I mean? They might express it in different ways, but it's all about. In fact, the grammar schools are the worst because they're the laziest. They're not interested in bringing people. They just want people that can pass exams.
Yeah,
that's all they're interested in. So they actually put less the pastoral care into their students. All they want is people that can do it.
In Japan, they have national exams. It's like you go and do you go into school, you do your exam. The results of that exam will be posted up on the notice board in the school, so everybody can see where everybody else placed in that school. Who's number one in that school, down to who's in last place in that school. These are also done on like a national scoreboard to see who is number one and last in the entire nation of Japan. And it's all there to put pressure on the students to make them try harder.
I did that with GCSEs.
It's
in my school.
It's
put them up on the wall so everybody saw.
Right. It's awful. Japan has one of the highest child suicide rates in the world.
Understandably,
there's a forest that sits at the bottom of Mount Fuji. It's known as the it's known as the hanging forest or something like that for the amount of kids that go there and kill themselves.
Yeah, and that's once again it's balance. But humans always go to the extreme.
It's one of the things I do not like about Japan. It's everything is driven by success. Everything is driven by being number one. If you're satisfied,
but there's only one.
Yeah,
It's the clues in the name.
yeah,
There's
but
only
it's like,
one
yeah,
number one spot.
like you have to be at the top. If you're supposed to be number one, if you're happy enough to be, I don't know, number two, you failed. You failed in life.
It's there's no
I,
such thing as number two. Your first loser is not that.
it's like
That's a
it's like first, second, third, last.
yeah. First losers number two. That's once again everything taken to the extreme.
Hmm.
It's
It's
not trying to.
mm,
Once again, I put it down to lack of imagination.
But
When you don't have imagination, you
yeah,
can't see. Oh, there's other paths I can
mm,
take. Here's what suits me. Here's how. I'm
but
all
I
about a person being. If you
mm,
live a
mm,
productive life, that's enough.
mm,
If you
mm,
contribute
mm,
more than you
mm,
take throughout your entire life, you're useful.
yep. It's like I'm in not a very good place at the moment. I'm suffering with things that are going on my head because of it. I can't work. I'm stuck at home. I don't like going out.
But that wasn't your whole life.
No, I've lived before this. I've worked. I've had lots of friends. I've laughed. I've helped people out. I've travelled. Before the state where I am now, I believe that I have had a good life. So I'm striving to push forward so I can get into that kind of life again. But it's like that need to succeed, that urge to succeed, that pressure to succeed. I think that is what this story is centering on. This last episode.
It's a self-reflection. I think we've talked about this before. Anime gives the Japanese permission to
It,
reflect on their society.
there is this is still within anime. There is a genre of anime called slice of life, right? Which is basically people doing. It's basically anime characters doing things that people do every day, right? It's just like it can be an anime about a group of office workers, and you'll see them working in the office. There is a subgenre of slice of life which is called Iyashikai. Doesn't even have an English name. Iyashikai is a word that means something like healing the soul. So it's like you'll get an anime about, I don't know, a kid who loves fishing, and you can just sit there and watch this kid fishing every evening and just like chill out and relax to it.
It's been, I guess, ASMR stuff.
It's one of my favorite genres actually. I love Iyashikai because you can just sit there and chill out to it. It's people doing like good deeds or achieving something or going somewhere they've always wanted to be. Soul food. That's what Iyashikai is.
Yeah. But that's once again, I think anime gives it's a mechanism that allows self-reflection. It's the same as God, I'm not even saying Monty Python because they got a lot of shit back in the early days. But when this place was like the religious establishment basically wielded, like witchcraft was illegal until 1951. Do you know what I mean? That's the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. We had there was other mechanisms like Halloween and stuff, there's ways that people could sort of step out and break away from that, because if not, the crushing weight of conformity would have destroyed people, and that's how you get rats in the streets. Or every society that has a conformist attitude to it, some way or another, there's always a way to get out.
Yes, I agree with that.
And that's, I think, anime's the Japanese way of coming to terms with this isn't a good way, but we can't just rock the establishment. So anime does it for them.
I think it is. I mean, anime and manga in general are like they are two very good ways to kind of like just defuse yourself at the end of the day.
But they're universal messages, so we can get something out of it. And that's, to me, that's proper sharing of cultures. I can enjoy something that's completely foreign to me and get something out of it.
Yeah, because
You know what I mean?
it's
And
like
that's why
the
anime has become more popular, and it hasn't had to destroy itself. It's allowed to be Japanese.
yeah
It's allowed to be a homogenous culture.
because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which culture you come from, which country you come from, which language you speak. Emotion is always the same.
Hmm. And the human condition. It's we can write. I can resonate with some of the stuff here, and I'm not Japanese. But hell,
And say,
the
careful.
twistedness.
The rabbit hole is very deep.
Yeah, I know that's why I like about stuff like this. That makes you think. That's the whole point of art, is to make you think and reflect, and it helps you figure out yourself.
Yes.
And we all need to be a wee bit self-reflective. It's people who aren't reflective are the most damaging, because there's no nuance or anything or perspective on life or the bigger picture. I'm gonna see it today. People running rampant, foaming at the mouth all the time, waiting to be told what to be annoyed by because they cannot think for themselves. That's a death of society. Death of imagination is a death of society. Its imagination makes us want to be better, even if it's just treating each other a bit better. That simple thing. We all don't have to build rockets. We don't all have to, invent whatever. We can just have a wee bit more thought about how we step in the world. But the twist is when it turns out that the teacher is the person on the message board that Sally's talking to
It's the way she found out.
with a phone.
No, you'll never guess where I am. I'm in school. I can't tell you while I'm here. I'll tell you all about it later. Sends. Teacher's phone buzzes. She looks at teacher's phone, sends another message. Teacher's phone buzzes, picks it up, and messages are there. Did you know this? Did you know that I was an anemone? We never found out what the teacher's username was. It's like, no, it's just coincidence. Sitting there.
But it's plausible.
I like the fact that even after that they remain friends, and they talk about the same things. And when we've already heard several of like her friend MSN friends emails being read out, and they've all been read out in like a woman's voice, a female voice. And even now she knows it's the teacher, they still get read out in the same female voice.
Because that's the avatar, that's the persona.
And she tells the teacher that she was going to send him to hell, doesn't she?
Yep.
Because he's kind of like, do you know what? I'm so tired and so sick of life at this moment. Maybe hell would be a better place. Or words to this effect.
This is where it becomes a tragedy as well, because it's just like there's no good way this ends.
There can't be. Jesus, it's like whoever wrote this episode's been reading too much of the classics. They really have.
It's a Greek tragedy. It's 100% Greek tragedy.
Awesome. So she goes home and she pulls the thread, and it's like you don't get any of the chase scene or anything like that. No. You just get I like sculling her boat towards the gateway that leads to hell.
And also you see her, and which we didn't see before, it's like, actually kneeling down, almost praying to him.
The teacher's like, so this is it, I'm going to hell. And he says, and I something like you should be ashamed for what you've done. What do you mean? And then you see Sawai, and she's there, and she's crying. She's holding the red thread, and she's crying. And she says, God, I only remember one line of what she said, and that's the last one. Please wait for me in the depths of hell.
Almost as if she's going to follow him very, very, very soon. Yeah, because there's no goriness, there's no hands grabbing this time. It was just pure the weight of he was her lifeline. and he talked her into throwing him away. Now she has the guilt of that as well, just because he was tired. You know, it was a lot of layers, and I is actually like, she's upset, she's annoyed.
Yeah.
This is the first flicker. Like normally the boat scene's a peaceful one.
Yeah, because it's like I remember grandma is talking to I, and it's like how does it make you feel knowing that some people's heaven is hell? I kind of hope that comes back. I really hope that we kind of get
Well,
like
I think we've
the
gotten
answer
right.
to that.
I've got hope because, like I said, this is one season, 24 episodes, so we're only halfway there. So we've got the rest of this season, but the fact that 3 other seasons have been made shows that something's went right. Because we've seen other animes, like you said, that there's no mercy. If it's crap, it doesn't get any more. That's it, done.
Yeah, they are very much like that. If it doesn't score, if it doesn't score in the right places, you will never see a season 2.
That's it. End of story. And I'm happy with that. I like that level of just discernment of, and the fact that they're able to keep score and be consistent, because the ones we haven't enjoyed have only had one season.
Yeah,
And it's shown. There's ones would like to have more.
there are. My God, there are so many.
Then
that we
there's
would like to
Vampire
have
Hunter
more.
D, which I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
And it's still around at people's heads.
When was
That's the anomaly. There's always there's your constants and your variables. Vampire Hunter D is the extreme variable of what the hell is this? It doesn't. What does it meant to do? And then everything else sort of you can benchmark against.
right? The 4th season of Hellgate, the 4th season of Hellgirl, 4th Twilight, was 12 episodes and finished airing in 2017.
Oh, right. Okay. Something went wrong then.
Well, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's like 2005, 2006. Second series was 2006, 2007. Third series was 2008, 2009.
Something's
And
happened.
then there was a gap to 25. Then there was a gap. Then it was like July 2017, July to September 2017.
I only got a half a season.
The same main cast. It's kind of like it's. There are a lot of seasons. There are a lot of seasons these days that only do 12 episodes.
We'll see, I suppose. Well, we'll finish this one off next time anyway, because I'm actually I'm really interested to see, do we get some sort of resolution at the end of episode 24?
I've got to be honest. Me too. I want to see. I want to see what opens up.
For example, Pet Shop of Horrors, I didn't care. Elfin Lied, I would love to have seen another season of that. Murukistan, I'd love to have seen another season of that.
It's like Elfin Lied left on that cliffhanger of who was behind the gate. Was it Lucy or was it someone else? Mary-Chan is just kind of there. It's like that. It covered the first 23 volumes of the manga. The manga's currently at something like 63, 64 volumes. Well, 63, 64 chapters. So there's plenty more there. I would love to see more of that.
I want to see how that pans out, but once again, it depends how people received it. But then we're not doing all the mains. We're not doing strictly manga stuff. There's different studios have made this, and these are some of the lesser known ones, which is cool. So maybe they're hidden gems, and if we can reignite one, if we find a hidden gem and reignite it, that'd be
amazing.
That would be cool.
If we can't find a hidden gem, I just want everyone out there to watch Perfect Blue. Apparently, the Hellgirl manga finished publication in 2010.
Oh, it must have come to a conclusion then.
If it's ended, there has to be a conclusion.
Interesting.
Apparently,
I'm looking forward to it. Honestly,
on April the 30th, 2014, there's a volume was released called oh my god. There was a single volume titled Jikoku Shoujo Emma I Seriku Shogun Gekiko Saturi. Hellgirl Emma I selection. Super scary story. I might find that one out just for the title. I mean, come on, super scary.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, apparently the story must have finished.
No, that's cool. Then at least we know that.
Hopefully, after this one, the next 3 series will actually take it to that conclusion.
It would make sense. They know where they're going. They've got it rather than just, like I said, the episodal bit at the start of this. We're now getting back into the overarching storyline. We've got somewhere they want to see a resolution of some sort. Like definitely Hajime. At the end of this season, Hajime has to meet Hellgirl. He has to.
So. I hope so.
If he doesn't, then we're just being strung along.
But then again, for all we know, he could meet her in season 2 or season 3, or it could be the conclusion of season 4. I mean,
I don't know how much longer, unless he's actually getting directly involved with the curses and some get stopped, or he stops some of them and talks some people around. He actually becomes an integral part of the story. I don't see what purpose he serves beyond season 1.
It's like I was saying. I think I can't remember why we've been doing this or why we were talking earlier. It's like I wonder if he becomes involved. I wonder if he finally meets Hellgirl because he himself is cursed.
That's possible, but he's turned a leaf. If he was still doing the same stuff, but he actually turned over a leaf, this made him realize, he made him stop blackmailing people, and then it made him actually quit his job. So he had a see the light moment. And I think if they brought somebody from the past just to curse him for a plot point, it'd be really contrived. So the way I think this would have to go for it to make sense is that he actually is getting involved. He's starting to now identify, and his daughter's helping him because she has a sight. And if he actually talks a few people down, and we actually see because of his involvement, the curse is not being enacted, and what that looks like, that's his character serving a purpose.
I'd say if that happens, would Hellgirl get involved?
Because that's what we need to find out.
It's kind of like, oh, you're ruining my day job.
Or how does Wanudu get out of the doll?
It's like
it's poor Wanudu. I'm thinking, I'm not Hellgirl. It's Wanudu I'm thinking about.
It's like, why hasn't he pulled the string yet? It's been 3 weeks. But Wanudu's kind of there going like, oh, my back aches. But he's always smiling, even though he gets like shat on the most. He's always smiling.
Yeah, he's just absolute rock star. Well, there you go. It'll stop us before it gets 4 hours. Flip's sake, we're getting worse with these things. Getting very philosophical. This one.
It's good. It's all good. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it's all fun. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll carry on with the rest of this. We'll see where it goes and see if our theories and our surmising actually leads anywhere or goes somewhere else. Who knows? It's anime. Anything can happen.
It's going to end now for Hellgirl 2. Do you remember Hellgirl 1? Yeah. Whoa, did we get that wrong?
That's part of the fun, though. That's why I don't want to study and read ahead. I want to be surprised.
Yeah, there's no fun in reading spoilers.
Yeah, that's the whole point of doing the review in this format, not a scripted thing, because I want to actually enjoy the experience and go along with the twists and turns. There you go, buddy. Thanks as always for coming on. It's always great to do these.
Always a pleasure. Sorry about all the tangents.
No, here, it's this channel. You've been here long enough. You know that's how we roll in this place. Thanks everyone for tuning in there. See you up above. And Kristen Dale, thanks for joining the chat. Always good to have you. I just need to say, until next time, keep up the other channel, do technically things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.